Hey, what's up? All right. Have they resolved that thing for your job? Are you still doing two jobs at the same time? Yeah. Um, mhm. Oh, my goodness. All right. Oh, oh my God. Oh, happy anniversary. All the things. Wow, you have been stop. I mean, I said that's exactly why I asked because I was like, I don't know, maybe the work thing isn't resolved yet. Yeah. Oh, oh goodness. Oh, right. I hate when they leave you in suspense like that. Wow. Yeah. I'll take my payment in Mustangs, please. That would be amazing. Oh goodness. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. It's like I don't know if we can get these horses here. Not what I meant. Uh, hey, it's okay. I need to step away really quick and then get some gold and come right back. I'll be right back. All right. All right, I'm back. Anything. Thanks. All righty, sounds great.
All right. Oh, let's fix this screen so we're both on the screen. There we go. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Mythos, and this is Wolfbrother Hobbies. And welcome to tonight's show. As per usual, I am joined by the amazing, the talented, the brother Rob.
Rob. Rob with the miniature paintbrush. How you doing, friends?
Brother, I am doing well. I hope all of our viewers are doing well. Hello, friendly neighborhood inquisitor. Mythos, silence your phone. Hey there, guys, says friendly neighborhood inquisitor. Hello, my brother. Hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week working the night shift, even though I know from us talking on the side you have experienced some frustrating difficulties. And you may have to rethink your life philosophy regarding certain things. But I hope you've been well, and I hope you've had a chance to do a little hobby therapy. I don't know what kind of time you've had. I'm going to be honest. It's been, how long has it been? It's been what, 3 weeks since we last talked? 2 weeks? I don't even know.
2 weeks, I think.
And I haven't done any hobbying. I packed my little surprise on my trips. It's this little Tupperware container I usually
neat. Yeah.
take my minis in, and TSA requires you take your paints in a plastic Ziploc baggie, which I have. So I haven't even unpacked my hobby stuff yet, but so I haven't had any time to hobby. I took my stuff with the intention to, but for the most part, the last 2 weeks while I've been working, I've been pretty much getting about 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night, just between travel and hitting sites on multiple shifts and stuff like that. It has been quite taxing. So very little. I think shopping is the only thing really on my hobby update. So, Brother Rob, why don't you go first? Because you've actually done some hobbying.
Me? Well, how many I am into? I only have 7 left to complete my 40. So 13, 14, 13. I'm on my 14th model now. No, 14. Oh, nope. Sorry. 24th model. There it is. Is it 24th? I'm getting to 30. I don't know. I'm getting delusional. I only have 7 left. It's 34 models left. There it is. I have a wad. I have a wog when it comes to Space Wolves Blood Claws. And I only have 30 Grey Hunters after this. So 3 units of 10. Yeah, but they're flying by. I mean, I am painting up a storm. There was one thing that I encountered one mini, which I forgot to do the knee pads on. And these are long knee pads. We're talking
The whole
from the
shin
knee all
guard,
the way
right?
down to the ankle. Yeah, the shin guard, the whole thing. And I left them off. And these were already primed. Like I primed the mini. I painted the mini with a base coat. I hit it with a highlight, all the while not noticing it didn't have those shin pads. And because I had so much volume, like it kind of gets lost in the sauce,
Yeah.
You get into it and it's like so much. But so I said, you know what? I don't feel like taking out the airbrush, and cleaning the airbrush because I'm very thorough with cleaning it now, much better than I've ever been. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do something a little wild here, a little crazy, right? One shin pad is going to be black, while the other one's going to be yellow, just like the shoulder pad. So it's going to be like unilateral, like, parallel lines. And I would put a decal on the shin pad. I would paint it up. I would paint up the yellow, like I paint up the shoulder pad with the finishing flash kits going all the way from Avalanche Sunset to a nice bright flash kits yellow and every step in between, and really do some highlights on it and did it up. So my result is, and I'll show you. Here is my regular shinned um, blood claw.
Hmm.
And this guy seems a bit special because, yeah, there you go. He has the two different color shin pads. And I know that's not radically different, but since all my miniatures have to have a different flair to it, I kind of do it. And you can see that with the swords too. Like they're painted differently, and each one is painted differently. Uh, it's a little quirk I have. I don't like painting the same thing twice. So everything has to be a little bit, everything's a special little flower, and I pay very close attention to details. The reason why these have helmets is because I have the same poses with faces. So that completely, for me, that's enough of a change to say, okay, it's pretty much changed. And of course, play with the arms and stuff like that. But still, a lot of fun painting this. So I paint up. Actually, Hellchild recommended that I don't do more than five because five is in a pack or a unit. So this way it'd be like a smaller like pack inside the larger pack,
Yeah.
and all of them have the knee pads, even the smaller knee pads. You see that one is yellow and the other one is black. So I got five of them like that. That's like that unique little squad within a squad. I think that as I play it and things die, these would be the last to go. I don't know. That might be the thing. Like the one pack that's ready for promotion because they're more decorated than the other ones, just a little bit. That
You
they
know,
are the last in the crew.
I'm always like that too. Like when if I have a particularly well painted or cool looking or converted guy in my squad, I always make
Yeah.
them like, aside from, of course, strategically your special weapons or the guy standing close to an objective or whatever. If I don't have a strategical reason to pull somebody else, obviously I'm gonna try and pull the coolest looking guy last.
Yeah.
Um, and even not in Warhammer, like if I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, sometimes there's like different art variations of the same card, and so like if somebody's like, well, I kill your red eyes black dragon, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it this one, or I'm gonna switch it out with this one because I like the art on this one better. So you're still killing a red eyes black dragon, but I like this art better.
Yeah, I guess we are all birds of a feather. Tell me if you guys, chat, if you do it, if you saved your good guys for the end and anyone that you don't think you painted very particularly well. Because I think with every unit, there's your best guy in the unit, and then there's something's wrong with that guy. There's
Yeah.
always one. There's always one, and
Oh,
so that's the first one to go.
or at the very least, you're like, these guys are plain and this guy is cool. You know.
Yeah, that too. That too. That too. Yeah, there's something about these guys. I painted them special. I put in the extra effort because I got caught up in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in my case, I fixed the mistake. It was too lazy to do anything else with it, so I just made it into a story.
Uh,
This is why I love this hobby. You
yeah.
just change it up.
I mean, I feel that like my Moon here, where he's got a cool, he's standing on the head of 1,000 sun, and he's got the cool pelts on him. But it was really because I couldn't figure out gluing his hips together. I was just like, why can't these things go together?
Oh my gosh. I remember that. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
let's see. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor has been smoking this challenge. I'm like halfway through my Secretary robots, and including them, I have 3 models left. He is almost done with his box. I'm like,
Wow.
no, I'm like, I've got 5 left to do before my first squad of 10. I'm so behind. Admittedly, I haven't been home very much to paint over the last couple months, but uh,
I mean, I'm just about on box 3
that's
with
true.
the
That's
blood
true.
clots.
With my box, I saved the most intricate Exalted Sorcerer for last. He's got 5 arms and a Disc of Zinch. Yeah, that's pretty intricate.
Ooh, I
Now we
love it.
And we all know that the Thousand Sons are known for their ostentatiousness. They're going to have so many details and gribblies to paint.
Yep.
I have never been interested in painting Thousand Sons before, but then I was watching Louise from Rogue Hobbies put out a video today,
Yay.
and it was like, a couple of two-tone color schemes that you can do with just a rattle can. And her
Mhm.
Thousand Sons looked amazing, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, Louise, I don't need another. I don't need another army." I'm sitting there rocking in the corner. I don't need a new army. I don't need a new army.
Well, thousands are great. If you start yours, I'll start mine. We'll start another challenge.
That's oh man, we're just gonna be partners in crime, moving on from army to army.
I mean, I already have it in the closet waiting to go.
Oh man,
I don't have the Sekitar robots though, so I would have to buy a box or two of those. But that's about
the
it.
Secretary robots look sweet. Like originally, I was like, man,
But they,
I always thought they had potential because I didn't like the paint scheme GW did for them. But then,
yeah, it's
like once
terrible.
I started seeing people, like for example, Friendly Neighborhood Quizzer, that gave them their own spin, their own color scheme.
A lot
Boom.
better. Yeah.
Friendly Neighborhood Quizzer says, "Hey, just FYI, if you start Thousand Suns, I will not start Space Wolves." Hey, hey! I thought we were ride or die, my friend. What are you doing?
Yeah. Start chaos. Do it
Yeah.
another chaos army.
Oh man.
Ooh, start Nurgle.
Ooh.
And then I'll start my Nurgle too. I have to start that one. I still have the Dark Imperium unopened.
I thought we were ride or die. What are you doing? He said dying, I guess. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
no, man. I hope you've
I
been
still have
doing
my
well, my friend.
Dark Imperium. I'm sorry. Get it?
Oh no, I was just saying, making a general statement. I hope he's doing well with his new night shift life.
Oh yeah, definitely. That throws somebody off for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I
If
still
you're
have
not
my
a
Dark
best.
Imperium.
Dark Imperium is such a cool box.
I still have it.
I,
Brand new, unopened. I got to start on that. But I don't know what to do with the Marines inside. Like, I don't know why. I don't think I want to paint them, space wolves. So what do I do? But I pump them into my Black Templar army. Do I pump them into my Iron Hands army? Probably Iron Hands. But I really love, and this is tempting. I love. Is it Raven Guard?
I
Oh
had
my god.
forgotten that you had an Iron Hands army, and I put your head on the Iron Hands guy for the thumbnail tonight. That looks almost intentional.
I mean, I think you're a safe bet putting any Marine in there.
I mean, that's
Honestly,
fair. That's
there's
fair.
very few. I don't have any guard, although I am tempted by this Christmas box set for um, Krieg.
The
I
Krieg
am
are
tempted.
very cool.
Krieg are cool, but then I'm also tempted by Emperor's Children, simply because the Primarch comes in the box, and I really want to paint Fulgrim just as a competition piece. Like, I don't even want to play the army. But if I already have some of the minis, then I might as well get the Slashy box set, which is about $300 now. And then if I do that, then I might as well get the combat control too. And
Sure.
then that's the start, that's the foundation. And then I see what else I need extras of. Or I shouldn't. Or I shouldn't do all that.
The crazy thing is I love the um the Emperor's Children color scheme,
Yeah.
but I don't think I'd ever actually want to start their army just because, like, their miniatures themselves, aside from maybe Fulgrim, because Fulgrim is iconic, like the miniatures themselves for the Thousand Sons just don't really have a lot of appeal for me.
I don't know. I think you kind of want to paint Fulgrim's snake for JJ in the front of us. You're like, snake for JJ. I never painted one of them before. You put on some sexy music. Anyway, yeah, I think you
Hey,
would. You would have to turn if you're gonna do an Emperor's Children army correctly. You have to turn down the lights a little. Play some sexy music, get in the mood. Get some rose petals and spikes, lots of spikes.
it's like
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like uh, are you? What are you doing down there? Painting? Are you sure? I've been hearing a lot of porno music coming from the
Yeah.
basement.
Come out, you have this thick mustache, just a stash.
The standalone mustache.
Yeah.
I was
Magnum PI.
man. I had thought about recently because my unfortunately my beard growing never quite gets to be like long or luxurious. It goes out and kind of wiry after a while, so I got to keep it close cropped. And at first, or for a while there, it was getting so kind of crazy looking. I was like, man, maybe I just need to shave it down super short and just kind of restart growing it out. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, if I do that, my wife hates the standalone mustache look. I was thinking about, man, for like maybe a day, I should just like grow it out to a mustache. I mean, cut it down to just the mustache. Like leave the handlebars, make it a proper Wild West kind of mustache. A Red Dead Redemption mustache.
That is a dangerous game you're playing, friend.
It is. It is. I live on the dangerous side.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, don't threaten me with a
Oh,
good time.
so Lily was
See,
listening to the
I
stream.
told you. I told you. Dangerous game.
I heard something get knocked over just now, and I looked up. She goes, "I would not kiss you." I was like, "Oh, this is serious." The troll is strong with this one, but the troll is even stronger in her. I mean, the sass is even stronger in her.
Uh,
He says the answer is to paint them crimson fists.
yeah. Yeah. Uh,
I don't know. They're such a similar color
yeah.
scheme. I always feel like,
Yeah.
and this is just my personal opinion, if you're going to paint them crimson fists, just paint them ultra. That's always how I
Yeah. Yeah.
like. Unless you
But
just
isn't
like
wait, isn't Crimson Fist part of the oh man,
the imperial fists.
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that a subs yeah, okay. So
yeah.
it's not Ultramarines.
No, I'm just saying like color scheme wise. If you're going to paint them,
Oh yeah, they
you
are
know,
very similar.
blue. I don't know. I just think make them a touch more vibrant and make them ultras.
Should I build an Ultramarines army? I mean, I have Gilliman.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna paint the Primarch anyways. Not because I'm biased as an Ultramarines guy myself, but you got
I'll start
Gilliman, you got Calgar, and there's some
too.
sweet new Ultramarine stuff coming out.
Yeah. There's always sweet Ultramarines.
What?
That is the one army you never finish building.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really
Building
seen
guard.
the. Then again, like I don't know. I think a Space Marine chapter is like that though. Like if you, some people are just fans of a certain chapter, and there may not be a rhyme or reason that one understands because taste is subjective. So
Yeah.
like I
Ooh,
like I know there's a lot of people who love Crimson Fists. I'm like, oh, I don't see it, but again, taste is subjective. And a lot of people who are like, I don't like the poster boys. Who would ever want to play an Ultramarine? I'm like, I like it.
there's always the Kikardons. Because I do have a decal sheet just for that. I could build a whole army with that
It's true.
decal
They
sheet.
do look really cool too.
I would have to do. I want to do black tats though. I don't want to do white tats. That's the only thing that bothers me about them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way to do them though.
Yeah. And I'd have to scratch build the Tiberius. or find somebody who can 3D print me one. But it has to be a really good one because it's going to be like the centerpiece of the model.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to like, yeah, do it up.
I always felt
Um,
like instead of vanilla, someone who didn't already have a Space Wolves army, Space Wolves would make a really good rule set for Carcharodons just because, like, you can get dreadnoughts with the big claws like Tyberos has, you know. Uh,
yeah.
they already have some of the, like, a lot of, like, tribal markings on their stuff like that. You know, obviously, you
Hmm.
know, it's more Nordic than Islander, but still, you know, like, some of that flavor is there, you know. Um, and so, I don't know. I always felt like, you know, if you didn't already have a Space Wolves army, somebody wanting to do Carcharodons could definitely make good use of Space Wolf models.
If I do go Kakaradon, I do have to say that they will all be painted like great white sharks.
Hell
And
yeah,
I would have the white on the bottom separated by the gray in the back. Like they would be great white sharks.
that would be
I think
awesome.
that would, yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. And if I can't do that, then maybe one of those like checker patterns, black and gray. One half black, one half silver. I think
I
that could
don't
be
know, man.
doable.
I think the Great White would just really stand out.
Yeah, I have to get better at doing that design. It's that natural severing from the white to the gray, almost speckled. I'd have to come up with a couple of techniques to get that just right. I'll just play with paint until I figure it out. That's what I always usually do. I just slap some paint on it and say, oh, no, that didn't work. I'll try it again. Nope, that didn't work either. Oh, I painted this really well. Technique was really well, but I don't like the colors. I don't like the way the colors mesh. Oh, paint it again. There was this one person. I forgot who it goes. I can't say. I can't say who it was. He's a maniac. Uh, I think it's Calvo. I think it's Calvo. Um, he did an experiment where he painted one miniature and then like um, put him in the green stuff and started over again 100 times. The same miniature
Oh yeah,
over and over and over again until and people were like saying like he painted this like golden demon winning planet and he put it back into the green stuff or the purple whatever he stripped the model again is what I'm trying to say
hmm
and imagine stripping it. He's like, oh, I don't have any emotional connections to any of these models, and he's like, I'll just sell them. And I'm like, wow, that's not me.
no, for sure.
I put too much time and effort into these. I kind of don't want to let them go. But again, at some point in time, like I said before, I willed you my Space Wolves. I didn't change that. So you are getting my Space Wolves, buddy.
That is awesome, my brother.
Yeah,
Provided you go first.
that's true. I'm older. We'll see. I just want to have enough life to paint all my minis. And if I keep on buying more, then I won't.
That is also fair.
And I am getting faster at painting minis because used to be that I would think painting a miniature in a week was pretty fast. That's how slow I paint. And actually, when I first started painting, it was 3 months for one miniature. But I glazed everything. And what I mean is, I glazed the base coat. I glazed the next color. Like I glazed everything. So everything had like I don't know, 2 million different coats of paint on it, but very, very thin, liquidy water, glaze consistent coats. And yeah, that was that was insane. Now, in about 2 hours, I can knock out a mini, which is like pretty cool. you know?
Comparatively, that is a huge jump.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's not to a perfect quality. It's not to a competition quality. It's to I'm really proud of what I did, and wow, I painted a whole bunch of them. So
That's an amazing feeling. It's like
it really
I'm
I
impressed
gotta
with
give
both my speed of this and what I, you know, what I produced.
Be happy with what you paint. Just never satisfied to the point where you can rest on your laurels. That's what it is. Always be improving because these young whippersnappers are going to pass us up in skill. We can't let that happen now, can we?
You know,
But truly, there's
I,
always an old guard.
no, for sure. And I think like that does happen. Like when I go back and look at like old uh magazines for gosh, the white dwarves and stuff like
White
that,
dwarf?
and I
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at some of the '90s painters, and I'm like, man, look at all these
Jeez.
competition winners. And I know paint and consistency and pigmentation and all of that was different back in those days. So obviously there's very good reason, but still at the same time, I'm like, man, I think in my current skill level, with of course the current tools available,
You do better than that.
yeah, yeah. And
He
so
probably would. It
I,
was that era where that just didn't matter. Like it wasn't really big on the radar. It was a subsection within the nerd culture that not everybody talked about when it first came out, and back in the day. It wasn't huge like it is now. My goodness.
and
There was an
also,
explosion.
and of
Mhm.
course, also information was different back then.
Oh
I
yeah.
heard a lot of painters from back then say that people used to be a little more secretive on how they achieved certain effects and stuff like that in the hobby, and you had to find a painter at your local shop that was willing to impart some knowledge to you, because
Well,
sometimes people more often back then weren't always as forthcoming with their paint recipes or techniques. So it's just a completely different world. And so there was like a barrier to even learning the basics, or what we take for granted as the basics nowadays. We come from an age where information is freely given and exchanged, and you can watch hundreds of tutorials at your fingertips, right? But yeah, such stuff didn't exist back then.
yeah. You can learn how to paint fulcrums for JJ.
Exactly. You could look up painting techniques for painting the JJs right now. In fact,
I know, right?
don't even go to YouTube, everyone. Just put
What
it into Google.
reference?
Just put it in
Like,
Google. How to paint a
I would blow up. Most watched video.
Hey, I wonder if we have any Alexa users in the chat. Alexa, search how to paint a vajayjay.
Searching how to paint for JJ. That's crazy. Fulgrim's for JJ. Fulgrim is something else. I don't know what else to call it. It's like all out there. It's,
And like,
it's not an Audi.
oh man,
So
somebody's got their Alexa on, like sitting next to their partner or something like that, diving across the couch, like, no, Alexa.
would you like me to continue your tutorial on how to paint Fulgrim's for JJ? No, Alexa, shut up. Anyway, that's silly. New Marines, right? Oh,
Oh,
wait.
new.
New Marines coming out. I'm
Uh,
excited about them.
yeah. Well, before we do that, we got a couple of channels of the week that we will get to.
Ew.
I am going to paint the silvers on this backpack first before we move over to that, though. Um, oh, and I haven't done my hobby purchases.
Oh, yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, so
Oh,
while
jeez. Oh,
I
jeez.
was in Michigan, I hopped across the border to a little Canadian town called Windsor. I think it was Windsor. I believe it to be Windsor.
Nice.
And while I was, because I had Googled, hobby stores, and like this is something I do whenever I'm traveling for work. Is wherever I am,
Same.
I try, and even if I don't have time to do any hobbying, and In the case of last week, I didn't even get to do the show because I was working the weekend and stuff like that, which has been happening more lately, but it's fine. But I try and keep myself connected to the hobby by Googling, what are the hobby stores in this town so I can take a look at, their take on a hobby store. And many times, I may or may not even buy something. Like I may try and pick up, like at the very least, just a tiny pot of paint just to, patronize, the hobby store of where I'm at. But, whether or not I do, I always, try and, just compare and see what's the hobby store in this area compared like to other hobby stores I've been.
Drop that T.
And this one was real nice. Canada, I went to the one I went to the Canada area. I'll actually bring up a picture. Um, let's see. Nobody look at my prawns. Chrome.
They're real nice in Canada, eh?
There we go. Here we have Tabletop Renaissance Games and Hobbies right there in Windsor, Canada, just across the border. And it's a small store, but it was super nice, run by a fellow Asian man. So of course, solidarity. I was gonna like it anyways. But no, it was real nice. The gentleman was real pleasant. His store, while not a very big store, was very nicely organized and clean. And I don't know, it also kind of felt exclusive because he had like the front of the store, but then he had like a back room that you would expect to be like an employee area. But there was like more Warhammer and painting stuff in there that you could go back
Oh,
to. And it was kind of like you felt a little bit like you were kind of exclusive going into like a VIP kind of area. And
it's
they
so
had
cool.
some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
And so I bought a couple paints and a brush while I was there. Like I said, I don't, I often don't travel with a lot of money to, to really spend a lot, or I never really get any minis or anything while I'm out. But I try to patronize a little bit, so I got a couple of paints and a brush while I was there.
Oh,
Because
nice.
there was one thing actually neither thing I have ever seen for sale um, in a hobby store before, and I thought it was just a great opportunity to pick them up and try them out. Maybe even do a little video or short on them. But well, sneak peek for you guys. Let's go back over to our faces, and oh, it's cool.
Watch it.
This the guy, he wrapped it up in a small paper bag, and then he actually sealed the ends of the bag because there's a brush in here, and he's like, "Oh, well, you're gonna want that to stay protected while you're traveling." Because I told him I was traveling for work, so he sealed up the bag so that way the bristles wouldn't get jammed up against other stuff.
Mhm,
So I thought
mhm.
it was pretty nice of him.
Sounds nice.
Oh, so the first thing I had never seen, well, yeah, these I had never even heard of before, and they are AK Interactive play
Ooh.
markers. And so they are miniature markers, but with acrylic paint. So unlike Gundam, where they're meant to go on the bare plastic, um, so I got a gold, a silver, and a black because I was like, yeah, okay, I like using markers to black line, and then just doing things like Aquillas and weapons for the silver and gold just made it seem like a pretty cool thing. You've got it upside down, Mythos, okay?
It's fun.
So yeah, I thought these were pretty neat, and yeah, I had no idea AK Interactive even made these, and you can see they got a pretty sharp tip to them.
That's nice.
Yeah, and what's also really cool is he had a whole set of display markers and a couple of miniatures that were just primed white, where you could kind of color in. So it was like, hey, feel free to test these out for free,
That's awesome.
and so I actually got to see kind of how they painted before I bought them. So yeah, little paint markers, really neat. And I also thought it was like the timing of it was really neat because, a lot of channels are covering the new army painter speed paint markers lately, and I was like, okay, well, I found these AK markers, and they seem really neat, and they're acrylic paints. They're not a speed paint formula. You don't need to use them on white. And I was kind of talking to the store owner about it because I was like, okay, do you get a lot of people coming here and testing? He's like, yeah, I've got, people coming to test them once in a while. I've been experimenting with them a lot lately too. And so that's why I've got a whole set of these colors out for display. It's because I've been using it on some of my own projects. So I was asking him about his experience. And he's like, for little details that you would normally have to keep dipping your paint and stuff like that, uh,
Mhm.
he's like, it makes something super simple, like when you're doing all of the bolters on your Space Marines or all of the Chestiquillas, you could just knock out those because it's got fine tips. You could always just, he said you can knock out those details real quick, real sharp tips. So, you've got good control. And he's just like, um, uh, he said it just really speeds up, coloring the details. He's like, and often, it's not like the big armor pieces that people fall behind on when they're painting. They're like, it's the details that kill a lot of people. And I was like, those are some really great thoughts. So, I was like, I'm most likely to knock out details with gold and silver. Let me try those out. So that was kind of my thinking.
That's awesome.
Um, Darklight Dreamer, good to see you. He waves in the chat. He's like, no cameras
Hey,
today, but
brother.
of course, I was just showing off the hobby store I was visiting just across the border in Canada. Superfly checking in. How the hell are you, my pigment pals?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Superfly, good to see you. I'm about to leave for work, but I don't think you shared the stream in your Discord. Oh, that is a good point. I will have to do that here in a second, my brother. Thanks for the catch. I love those weathering pens. I use them for terrain for streaking. That's really cool. The other thing I picked up that I know this product, having seen it a lot, but I've never seen one inside a hobby store. And they had the full range of Artist Opus dry brushes with the
Ooh, I
rounded
want to
tip.
try this.
They were sold out of the little moisture pads that go with them because he said those are big sellers. That even people who use different brands of dry brushes or even makeup brushes, they'll come in and they'll buy the little moisture sponge. But yeah, so um, also it felt like I got a little bit of discount on all this because they were about the price I would have expected to pay at a hobby shop I normally go to. But then when I looked on my phone at the transaction, it was like several dollars cheaper, and I was like, oh yeah, Canadian currency conversion. So I felt like I got a discount on this stuff. Um,
That's awesome.
but yeah, so I picked up the medium size because I thought that would be good for, general working on like something marine sized. And so yeah, I'll probably be checking these, trying these things out soon. But I waited until I got back from my work trip, and I was like, I'm not even going to open them until the next stream because it just seemed neat to kind of check out the loot, with the hobby fam. So I'm excited. How do the dry brush differ from the Army Painter dry brush? I haven't used the Army Painter dry brush,
Mm.
so I'm not sure that I could tell, but I'm going to look it up real quick because I think that is pretty good to know. Um, now, I
This
don't.
one, this one's mine, and I don't have a name on it, so I don't know what it's from. I bought it from an artist store. Sorry, I got it from an artist store, but this is pretty much it. It's just white. I don't know. It
Okay,
works really nice.
it
I
looks
got to
like.
try the artist opus stuff though.
Yeah,
I'm really stoked to
similarly,
try that.
like I have a bunch that I've been using. Like I've got the Ghost Dry brush. Although even though it's rounded, the 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 bristles stop at 90 degrees, and I noticed these Artist Opus brushes, and I want to see the Armor Painter ones too. They have the more dome shaped kind of tip,
Yeah.
and so
Um,
that's one of the. I was like, okay, well, they have such good reviews. Let me check them out.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
Not that I need more brushes, but I do want more brushes.
okay, so I'm gonna pull this up on stream. So it looks like the Army Painter brushes also have that kind of rounded or dome tip.
Hmm.
I do love a good dome-shaped tip, says Darklight Dreamer. Fair,
Oh, thank
fair.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, man.
I'm a, he was uh he was pointing at a dome shape he and I both share.
Oh, Chrome Dome.
Um,
That's right.
so it looks very similar
Go back.
in shape to the Army Painter ones. I have
Yeah.
heard from a couple of people, tutorial people I watch, such as Mediocre Hobbies, that one of the things he likes about using the Artist Opus ones is that the texture of the bristles are really good and springy, which really works for um, the stippling effect. So if you ever want to get in there and kind of stab for that stippling kind of texture, he says the Artist Opus brushes are really good for that. However, because I've never used the Army Painter brushes, I can't make a comparison on how well those also stipple.
So it's
Ash,
for people who like to stab. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So these are good for dry brushing and for stabbing.
It is Halloween. It's getting there. It's getting there.
Gamers with Coffee, Ashley. Hey boys, hello there. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and I hope Greg is too.
Hello there.
So that is one. And then also, we were talking about the discount brushes that you use, and I was like, man, I've been looking for a good workhorse because I have been dipping it more into my fancy brushes, my golden maples and broken toads lately. But I've been looking for a cheap workhorse brush, and I saw, was it Tavarian? Midwinter Minis? Maybe, I think it was Midwinter. Did a video on, affordable brushes,
Mhm.
and was this? I think it's called Stacks. This is one of the ones he recommended. That was also for pretty cheap on Amazon. I think it was like $12 for a pack of. Was it? Did I get a pack of four? A pack of six? So just $3 or $4 a brush, but they seem pretty nice. I haven't used it yet, but it did come with a very nice tip, some good protectors. Looking forward to it. Um, and
Or was it just the tip?
what's good about it? Just the tip.
That's it.
He and Greg and Ashley are watching House of David. I'm not sure what that is, but I hope you enjoy.
I'm sure David has a really nice house. And
Uh,
here's my living room.
a TV show, very nice. Oh, and then the last thing is um,
um,
I needed more gloss varnish for things like oil washes and decals and stuff like that. Because what I did for the decals, or what I've been doing for decals lately, because I ran out of gloss varnish, and instead of doing the smart thing and just going out and getting more, I've been using the Mod Podge high gloss varnish, and that has become out too glossy. So like even knocking it back with the ultra matte varnish has left some of my first batch of Space Wolf shoulder pads. Like I knocked it back with the ultra matte, and it still is like a little glossy, And I'm like, okay, that's super high gloss. I need to cut that out. So I had a couple people recommend the AK, and I already used the AK Ultra Matte varnish, and I was like, let me go with their gloss varnish. So I picked up some AK Interactive gloss varnish to go with my AK Ultra Matte because I
oh,
figured
let
if
me know how that works out.
yeah, absolutely. The more it's funny because I used to be like 100% rattle can varnish, can't be bothered, and now I've pretty much moved over to 100% airbrush varnishing.
I actually decanted one of those spray cans into a liquid so I can use it through the airbrush.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. It was really cool.
Yeah.
If you want to check out how to decant aerosolized products such as varnish, go and check out the Miniatures Paintbrush link down below, and he's got a great tutorial on that.
I was actually featured on Warhammer Weekly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, for a while I was trying to do my pictures for my miniatures with the kind of backdrop setup they recommend for trying to get your pictures on Warhammer Weekly, and after a while I was just like, I'm okay. I'm done with this. I don't think I've got the painting skill. Just because it was just like, man, everybody else I knew was like, hey, I got featured on Warhammer Weekly. Hey, I got featured on Warhammer Community, and just like, always the bridesmaid. So that definitely didn't have any lasting effects.
Psychological effects.
Yeah, on my inferiority complex.
Need to stop.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
everyone can do it, but you.
You were the chosen one.
You're the weakest. No. Why is Mythos crying and rocking in the corner again? I don't know. He does that from time to time.
But I had the high ground. Oh no.
Okay. Silvers seem to be done for the moment. Okay, so we can move on to. Oh, no. I forgot the sergeant. That's kind of important. I was about to say, we can move on to the next thing. Let me just knock out the sergeant real quick.
All right.
Media Corner. What you been watching? What you been listening to?
Well, I do have this old Hammer kind of guy that I have seen, and he actually documented the end of the reign of different kind of chapters. You know how there's always used to be like one chapter that was the best in competition, and how most people hated them, sort of like, I don't know, second edition Space Wolves, right? Everybody from third edition was like, they had enough of Space Wolf stuff, but they were the executioner. They were supposed to be stronger, right? But you know, but how every tournament and how it affected the game, and he really goes through it all with all the legions that died. You would say in Warhammer history that there was the rise of that. Legion and then the fall of said Legion in the competition, and what's been going on with that. So it's a really, really interesting thing. This site, and I believe I sent it to you, Mythos. Um, it's a YouTube site that's really great. That's what I've been watching anyway.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
Anything non YouTube you've been watching? Any TV shows or
Well,
anything? Movies?
I'm reading a book called Nexus. It's really good. I also finished a book called Good Energy. Um, I'm still reading Space Wolves because it's a slow go. My daughter says, "Read Space Wolves to me, please," and that's when I read it to her. And I'm like, I'm so close to the end. Come on, but I can't read without her. So there's that. But been reading a lot of books lately. A lot of books.
That's cool.
Uh, hmm There was another one, but geez. Oh yeah, on the Revenge of the Tipping Point. I also read that one. That was amazing. That was like thebomb.com. Wow. I said thebomb.com. That doesn't date me at all.
No, not even a little. Nor could it ever.
Wow. I surprised myself with that one. But yeah, I've been reading my nose to the ground with that. And really learning a lot. I usually take fiction books, but I've been reading nonfiction lately. So as far as TV, I've been watching this show called Abbott Elementary. Funny as heck. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I don't know if it's an accurate depiction. I don't think it's an accurate depiction of what we go through, but it's funny for me because I can get the inside humor of it all.
You know,
It's a great show.
being in the security industry, I feel the same way about when I watch stuff like, I thought I was gonna hate Paul Blart Mall Cop, but then like I was like, oh man, a lot of this shit's really relatable.
No way. You have a segue?
No, no, no. I mean, actually, some of our sites do have segues, but uh,
Have you ever written one?
yeah, actually. So at one of my sites I used to have,
Yeah.
the campus had an underground tunnel. So like the campus was spread across this huge, huge area where you would normally have to drive, where it was like there would be a what's called a quad where four buildings would be in a specific. It was a 4x4, so there'd be four sets of four buildings, north, south, east, west, and and each quad had the four buildings that were all within walking distance. But to get to another quad on the campus was usually like another drive, like it had its own parking garage. But the entire campus was connected by something called the tunnels, and so you could go basically a floor below the basement levels and take these tunnels and travel between. And first of all, that was always my favorite because I didn't have to go out into the Texas heat. When this campus was built onto swampland, and so I could stay away from the heat and the mosquitoes and just take these tunnels from building to building. But also, um, you be safe, love. But also, it was cool because um, when I would, I would sometimes when I would go between the buildings, I would take one of our segways through the tunnels, and actually it just felt fun. Although I gotta say, it was like I've been on the two-wheel segways, and then I've been these particular segways I use. They weren't Segway brand, but they were very similar. But they were a three-wheel, and they felt much more stable than the two-wheel
Oh
segways.
yeah.
But yeah, it was actually fun. I was pleasantly surprised because at first I was like, this is some Paul Blart shit. But then like once I got on it, I was like, I'm taking this everywhere.
Yeah. Purple art ain't that bad. I like purple art.
But like I didn't want to do anything that would compare at first
Yeah.
because like I was like, this is a terrible representation of my industry and people aren't going to take us seriously. And oh man, it's kind of
That's
fun.
fun. Yeah, it's fun. I want to go on one.
Sometimes I take myself too seriously, I guess. Also, though, being that, I was a manager who could commandeer one of those, and it
Yeah.
wasn't just like my job, like I had to roll around on these things all day. I think that also kind of made it more enjoyable for me, you know?
Oh my God. Have you ever stopped somebody and said, I can commandeer this vehicle?
No, no, no.
You
For
need
me,
to do that like at least once
I
in
need
your
to.
life.
I need to. For me, it was always just as simple as I'd get on the radio and, if I saw one of them had their Segway parked out of a building that they were patrolling, I'd
Yeah.
be like, Unit 42, I'm taking your T3 and I'll be back, in 30 minutes or whatever. Uh, yeah, that's what our brand was called, T3s, because they were the three-wheel model.
Commandeering your T3. I don't know.
And then most of the time they'd be just like 10-4. Although sometimes you could tell they were probably done, getting close to being done with the patrol in their building. They'd be like, okay, or like, okay, I'm going on break.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Uh,
Um,
Interesting thing. I have my vice principal who's going to give me more administrative responsibilities throughout the building, so I can build my resume to become a administrator. So I'm getting more experience, and they're giving me, I think, a testing of a new statewide test. So I am in charge of the logistics, great logistics
see,
of it all. But you're a logistics specialist, aren't you?
I mean, kind of procedures is my forte, and logistics kind of falls into that domain.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
oh, I won an award. I went to an account conference for my company and my team um,
hey,
while I
congratulations.
was out of town, and
That's awesome.
the one I won was basically, I've been pitching in and helping out with other contracts and stuff like that in my company for the last,
Yeah.
wow, a while actually. Even like this shirt is the shirt I got while helping out with one of the hospitals after they were struck by a major hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
because of all the volunteering I helped do on some of the other accounts, they were like they gave me an award they called the Standing Ovation Award, who just basically goes the extra mile to help get the stuff done.
That sounds like you.
So,
You're the
but thank
person
you.
that goes the extra mile.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So that felt pretty good to be appreciated.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Um, so that was cool. Oh, also, one other thing I had somebody mailed me these very cool decals
Oh, you got them. Great.
for my blood moths. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
brother.
of course.
I was like,
Yep.
my wife was like, you got some mail. I put it on your desk, while you were gone. I was like, I did. I came over. I was like, yes. And also, some bookmarks. Like, it's the season for reading.
Yeah, I always encourage reading. It's a teacher in me.
Uh, Speaking of reading, I was kind of struggling to get into Blood of Asaheim, which is, I know, terrible for a Space Wolf. Um, but I think part of it was also that for some reason, so I had two setbacks where I lost my place, and it can be frustrating losing your place in your reading. But for some reason,
Mhm.
um, I was in airplane mode on an airplane, and I never like pay attention to what chapter I'm on. And so my ebook lost its sync while I was in airplane mode, and so I had no idea where I was in the story after that, and I
Oh
had to flip
no.
around to try and find out where I was, which was a feels bad. And then I put my ebook on audio mode, and like I said, I've been working a lot of hours lately, and like some days where I was just sleeping 3 to 4 hours a day, and I fell asleep. I came in from work one day, sat down on the little couch in my hotel room,
Wow.
and I was out. And and I had it put it on audio mode because I was driving that day, and man, I had no idea how long I was out, how much, where I am in the book again, and I was just like, I'm so lost. And I tried skipping around to find, and I was like, okay, just a few days ago, I had to flip actual pages to try and see where I was. Maybe I can
Mhm.
use that to find. And I couldn't find where I was, but I was also frustrated at the time, so I'm pretty sure part of that was just tilting.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, okay, I'm going to pause this book for a little bit because, like, two setbacks in 2 days, I'm just frustrated now. And those of you who don't know in the chat, tilting is just basically when you're already pissed off, so you're doing badly, so then you get
Uh-huh.
more pissed off, so then you do more badly, and yada, yada, yada.
Uh-huh. Spiral.
The spiral. So, uh, anyway, so then I paused that book, and
It was called The Blood of This Ass of Mine.
Blood of Asaheim.
Oh, okay.
Asaheim being the other than or it's where the Fang is located. It's the largest continent on Fenris.
Right.
Uh,
Yup.
which is
Asheim, where they all go to ascend to become blood claws and pass the trial of Mordecai and almost die.
Yep.
I don't understand why they went through all this trouble of developing Primaris Marines if they were just going to make everything bigger anyway.
Uh,
Like the Space Wolves have a mix of helmets, right?
mm-hmm.
The oldies and the newies. Are these all Primaris or is it a mix? Because why would they have the other helmets?
They have the. I mean, it's the same reason why even on the firstborn kits, sometimes you get the Mark 6 beakies. You got the.
Sure.
The idea is that lore wise, as you go through, and like when everybody upgrades their equipment, they don't always upgrade everything, right? Some of them will keep an older Mark helmet. Some of them will. So these particular blood claws and whatnot, many of them have upgraded to the Tacticus armor, but some of them have chosen, I want to keep this helmet or this shoulder pad or whatever. And that's why some still have like what is the Mark IV shoulder pads with the little bubbles all over the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But are they all Primaris though?
They're all,
Is
yeah,
that 100%?
yeah, they're
Oh,
all Primaris because Blood Claws are all new blood. They don't make firstborn Space Wolves anymore. Uh,
like the people in Fenris are not. They're just not. They're not getting people from Fenris anymore.
no, because now that okay, so first they introduced the Primaris Marines, and then
Yeah,
of course
yeah,
the new Primaris Marines got to go through the trials of Mordecai to become Primaris Space
yeah,
Wolves and stuff like that. But once they adopted them in,
yeah.
they were allowed to start using like Cull's upgraded gene seeds and whatnot to start making their own Space Marines with the new stuff.
No, so they just literally aged them out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, it's like they unlocked the technology and stuff like that when they received the Marines.
Sorry, guys, I am late to this party.
No, it's all good. I mean,
Like
so
I never understood how it reacted, like the space wolves in particularly. But yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
um, some of it I got with, gosh, what book was it? There was one of the one of the books I read where it was some of the unnumbered sons, which is basically just the
Yeah.
big group of space
Space
marines that were like
Marines with
still
no
basically,
Legion.
yeah, with no legion. They were basically still
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
space marines.
Yeah.
And if the book followed a guy in his squad that first they were the first blood claws or the first, well, they weren't blood claws, they
Primaris.
were primaris to get
I read that
inducted
book.
into
Yeah.
yeah, gosh, I can't remember what book that was.
That was part of the Dawn of Fire series. I think it's called a Wolf Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you like
Yeah.
when you take some of the perspective of that, and then there's the Gilliman series. I
The
can't remember.
Indominus Crusade?
Yeah, the
Oh,
Adonis
sorry.
Crusade stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
am not remembering book titles right now.
It's all
But
right.
yeah,
For the first time in my life, I am.
and that one talks about how unnumbered sons go on to being adopted by their chapters, and it really reminds me of like any of those old school books like uh um the Charles Dickens story about the Artful Dodger and stuff like that, where it's like
Oh, yeah.
some of them are just about how the some of those older books like are about orphans that just want to get adopted, right? The unnumbered sons wanting to be accepted by their parental legions is really the same vibe. Like
Yeah.
all they really want is for their parental chapters to acknowledge them, and invite them in. And so it kind of talked about that with the character follows an Ultramarine who ends up not being acknowledged by Gilliman into the Ultramarines. But Gilliman is like, he's a space Annie, exactly.
Yep.
um, but Gilliman is the diplomat, so he's like, oh, I'm not going to bring you into the Ultramarines because that would really complicate things right now, and we cannot exceed the chapter of 1,000. I want to bring you into the closest ally of the Ultramarines, the Nova Marines. You
Oh,
guys will
yeah.
be the closest ally and the first Primaris representation of our family. And he's like, I
I get to
get.
wear checkers.
He's like, I guess. I mean, I'm not really part of your family. I'm more like the family you have on the side. But like also, as part of that, he talks about like some of his brothers he had in other chapters, and
Yeah.
then he talks to the character that goes on into the Wolf Spear, and his Wolf Spear brother kind of talks about that too, how the process of waiting around to be acknowledged by their parental chapter, and Logan Grimnart first is vehemently against it, and so that's why the Wolf Spears are created, and they're even worse than the Nova Marines are off because you know Whereas the Ultramarines were like, we just don't have room for you right now. You understand, you know. The Space Wolves said, we don't fucking want you. You go over
It's like
there, wear some other colors and chapter badge, and try not to, be mistaken for us. We don't want you. Like, ah,
that's
damn.
right. Be mistaken for us. I love it. Oh my gosh. They are quite rude about it. I love it because
Yeah.
they have their own traditions. That's just pretty much throwing up the middle finger, like Space Wolves.
And the Space Wolves are like convinced that these sons from Call are just basically, you know, Imperial spies. Like,
Yeah,
this. We're gonna get spies from Call and the Inquisition on the inside of our walls. Hell no.
yeah. Yep. I think Bjorn has said that too. He didn't they take him out of stasis for that?
Yeah,
I could have sworn that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I love Bjorn.
Because they
And
had a
he was like,
meeting
"F them
of
kids."
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much
They
it.
they brought in all the Wolf Lords to talk about this, or at least the ones
Yeah.
that weren't currently involved in war. And they woke up
Uh,
Bjorn because he was the first Great Wolf, so they wanted him to weigh in. Darklight, yeah, Darklight. It exactly was just like one of those orphan movies. It's just that
yes.
I already have enough kids, so
More, please. I just want some more. You want some more? That's
oh my gosh,
oh,
the
it's
unnumbered
sick.
sons are just like the little girl from All Dog Goes to Heaven. Ooh,
Oh,
a mommy and
I
daddy
hope
just
you
for
don't.
me.
You know the story behind that, right? Poor girl. She got abused by her parents and died. So at the end of the movie, when they're saying goodbye to Charlie, they did it over a voice recording because the little girl passed away.
Aw,
Because the parents beat her to death. So when Charlie, the dog, said goodbye, he was really crying because he was saying goodbye to her, not just the character.
man, my wife
And
had
all those
told me that,
moments.
and then I had made myself forget that, and now it's
I'm
like I'm
sorry.
hearing it again for the first time. No, it's okay. Like I had heard it before, but I'm very good about blocking blocking
Painful
things.
memories. I'm sorry.
No, that or at least not even just painful memories, but things that are sad because I am. Everybody's got their way of dealing with trauma, right? And mine has always been distract myself from it. The healthy thing. Don't deal with it.
Oh yeah, of course.
And oh, Charlie, I love you.
Yeah.
I think it was specifically her dad that killed her. Darklight says,
Yeah. Can't believe it.
"Man, that's crazy." So my way of dealing with trauma and pain has always been to distract myself, and I think that is why I have a very an
Certain set of skills.
overactive I have a very overactive imagination, right? Like
Yeah.
if I'm just listening to music in my car at a red light or whatever, there's a good chance I'm making a music video in my head to like some characters or media that I like, and building up a story in my head. Like just because like that's always been like how I deal with. So I grew up with an abusive dad, right? And so I would just always distract myself from what was going on, whatever punishment I was getting at the time, by thinking about, one of the video games or movies or cartoons that I loved or games that Darklet and I would play. Uh,
Your happy place.
yeah, yeah, basically. By the way, if you a hot take, but if you really think about it, All Dogs Go to Heaven is basically just the Count of Monte Cristo. Oh yeah, I remember we were talking about that over coffee one morning, and that was just like that was so like that blew my mind so much that like I stopped in the middle of us having coffee together and texted the thought to my wife right away. I was like, "Whoa!" Because yeah,
It's
it
like
all lines up.
it's like that time I found out that Avatar was actually just Fern Gully.
Huh? My
It is
mind first went
exactly
to
the
the
same
Last
story.
Airbender, but you're talking about Avatar, the Alien movie. Yeah,
No, yeah, the Alien movie. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I can see
It's
it.
Fern Gully. It is Fern Gully. It's
Without
all
Robin
it is.
Williams' baddie, though.
No, 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 no.
Also, I came to find out in Avatar, one of my favorite video game comedy skit channels, Viva La Dirt League. One
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the owners of that channel was in that movie as an extra. Like, he's there for things like marching through the hallway as a soldier or sitting in the briefing and stuff like that. But still,
Cool as hell.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So every once in a while, if you watch his Twitch streams or whatnot, somebody will they'll do a donation. One of his donation alerts are like different clips of him in Avatar. And here I go again, completely distracting myself from All Dogs Go to Heaven sadness by being like, "Hey, leave me in the dirt league." Oh, media. I completely forgot I was doing media. So I went from taking a break from Blood of Asaheim to I started Perturabo. So those of you that know, my friends have been trying to get me into Horus Heresy, and I was like, okay, if I do, I'm kind of thinking Iron Warriors, because of some Iron Warriors I shared on a previous channel of the week. That I was like, this guy does some incredible looking Iron Warriors, and it's kind of given me the bug, right? And so, anyways, I've been looking up a lot of tutorials on how to paint them, how to some of their lore and stuff like that. And so when I took a break from Blood Vasselheim, I started listening to Perturabo. And he's kind of a dick. But, I mean, you can say that about a lot of the Primarchs,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, even my boy, Lehman Russ, is like, there are certain topics that suddenly make him being a jovial, good, nice guy. Because I find that Lehman Russ, to me, is the most likable because he laughs a lot. He enjoys the moment, he's got that Viking bravado that is like it's haughty, it's confident, but also like for the most part he's loving life, right? He enjoys the battle, he enjoys the brotherhood and camaraderie with his wolves.
Sons.
Yeah. And so like there's a lot of things that make me like he's a good guy, but you bring up like some certain things like Magnus Maleficarum, he is like unfairly all of a sudden, and I say unfairly because it seems like an over the top response for what the situation called for. He's just like on a dime, very aggressive and combative and ready to throw down and insult, and it's just like, of course, when you read Prospero Burns, you realize that okay, actually some of this is warranted, but for the most part, uh, he is kind of written like a jerk sometimes. It's like he flips from being such a nice guy to a jerk so quickly.
Hmm.
Like, well, I mean, you got a little bit of bipolar in you, don't you?
Yeah, I do a little bit. Now come over here a little closer. A
No, I'm
little
okay over here.
closer. Yeah, all right. I want to show you what my bipolar is like. Oh my God.
Going back to All Dogs Go to Heaven and Kind of Monte Cristo, Darklight says both are about someone betrayed by a trusted friend, left for dead, then making a dramatic return. They stumble into a fortune and could have chosen to use their wealth to start over and begin a new life, but instead use it
No,
to
no,
fuel their
no.
revenge. And in the end, they learn that wealth and vengeance can't buy peace, and their redemption only comes when they choose compassion instead. Yeah. And that is actually well surmised. Like, that was well worded.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, so I'm listening to Perturabo, and he definitely like again, there is some empathy. Like you watch it and you're like, I can kind of see how we got this way, but also
Yeah.
he's kind of a jerk.
He didn't need to react the way he did.
Exactly, exactly. But also, I feel like there are multiple times in my life where I could have become obviously a less talented Perturabo. Like, because like he uses his the way he's treated or the way that
Oh, as an excuse. Yeah.
exact he wallows in that feeling, and I feel like, man, there are plenty of times in my life where I could have chosen to wallow in that feeling too. And I felt very similar about some of the things he felt, and it's just like one of the feelings, and I think this is one of the ones talked about the most in the Horus Heresy, is he feels like he's one of the legions that sacrifices the most and is acknowledged the least for it. But at the same time, he wallows in that feeling, and sometimes he takes the hardest path to suffer the most, where he could have,
Right.
taken a
That is to
safe,
himself.
yeah, he could have taken a safer path, or whatnot. But he wanted to be acknowledged for how hard he was working and how much he was sacrificed. And of course, he feels like he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. So then he kind of doubles down, commits to that harder path, and feels like he's still not duly, acknowledged for his sacrifice or his toils. And it's just like, but you're kind of doing some of it to yourself, you know?
It's the classic, watch me, daddy, watch me.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I feel like I could have wallowed in that same feeling too. Like, man, you know how much shit I've been through? And like sometimes you do want that pat on the back, someone to acknowledge the shit you overcame. But sometimes somebody else isn't going to do it for you, and you got to pick yourself up on your own.
Yep.
um,
Preach, brother, preach.
Hellwork says work is hella slow. So I think I kind of make, like, even though he's kind of an asshole, it makes me empathize with a little bit with him, because like I could have been that guy. I could have taken some of the stuff I've been through and been like,
I mean, we all could have, really.
yeah, yeah. I think all of us have been through trials that was like, you know, this shit sucks and I can be miserable for it.
Right, right. But I choose not to. You choose
Exactly.
happiness. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen to you. You
Yeah,
got
and
to decide to be happy.
that's true. You do have to decide whether you're personally going to take something,
Yep.
uh, personally, or if you're going to, force
Show
yourself
by
to.
F out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I take a conversation I had with a couple of my coworkers at a meeting I went to one day, and I came in like 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, something like that, and everybody, they weren't really like, "Hey, you're late for this meeting," but they were like, "It's not like you to be late for this meeting. Are you okay?"
Yeah, you're okay.
And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh man, actually left early to get here because like it was in Baytown, which was quite a ways away." And I was like, "I actually left early to get here, but my tire blew out on such and such highway." My air compressor just kicked on for no reason. It's weird.
So plugged in.
Okay.
Is it shut
Uh,
off?
um, but I was like, yeah, but luckily my tire blew out right at the exit where there was a tire shop. And I was like, so no reason? Because of ghosts. That's why. So my tires blew out because of ghosts, but it blew out right at the exit for a tire shop. So I hit the exit so that way I wouldn't be on the road where the highway is, with all this traffic. It's like I pulled off to the side of the road and boom, the tire shop was right there. And sure, I had to spend like $60 to get their cheapest tire and get back on my way. But I was like, I could have broken down anywhere and been like, you know, an
Out of luck.
hour, yeah, SOL, an hour away from home and an hour away
Yeah.
from the meeting, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
so I said, I feel
Oh,
super lucky. Like, the light was watching out for me that day. And they're like, I think lucky, my coworkers at the meeting were like, I'm pretty sure lucky would have been not having a blowout on the highway. I was like,
yeah.
I could have blown out anywhere though. To blow out right at the tire shop, not have to ride my rim and be able to get it taken care of immediately and only be 5 minutes late today, I think I choose to look at that as lucky rather than
That's a
unlucky.
win.
Yeah. Darklight says medium lucky.
I'm lucky. I like that.
So yeah, I understand where Perturabo's coming from, but at the same time, like, you choose to kind of do some of that to yourself.
I don't know. That's kind of sort of like me saying, "Yeah, I get Lorgar." Nobody gets Lorgar.
Lorgar is just like, let me love you,
Yeah, I
let me
know.
idolize you. No, the person nobody gets is Erebus. F that guy.
Oh, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude.
Oh man. Okay, we got some. Oh, so I watched that, and because I've been on the road so much lately, I've spent a lot of time in airplanes, which means I've had a lot of time to watch some stuff. So I caught up on Fire Force, the anime. So I'm good on that until 2026. I caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, caught up on that till 2026, and I
Nice.
started Bungo Stray Dogs, and I'm like 2 out of 3 seasons into that.
You want
Uh,
to do what to my dog?
so yeah, lots of watching stuff. And
Um,
I've been listening to a lot of like the true crime kind of stuff from Let's Not Meet, and listening to lots of ways that people can be terrible, creepy uh, people with ill intentions, which in my industry gives you a healthy amount of paranoia for what people are up to.
yeah.
um, I saw a concert while I was on vacation for those couple of days. In fact, it was so
Mhm.
good I went and saw it again the next night. Oops.
Oh wow.
It was one of my favorite things to do at anime conventions is to go to the Japanese concerts and stuff like that. Usually it's Japanese rock. Every once in a while it'll be like J-pop instead of J-rock, but for the most part it's usually Japanese rock. And it's getting to see these cool international bands is really neat. And I saw a band that not only is a Japanese rock band, they are currently Japanese American um, music ambassadors based out of Tennessee right now, even though they are a Japanese rock band that's from Japan.
Mm.
They're called Kaza, and they put on a hell of a show. I went back and saw them both nights, and just like I loved them, my kids loved them. We got their CDs while we were on vacation. We went to the line and got autographs from them.
Nice.
It was nice, and they didn't even charge for their autographs or whatnot. They're like, you don't even have to buy anything. Just come up, talk to us. If you
That's
want to
cool.
sign something, you want to take a picture with us, you can do those things for free. If you buy stuff, we'll be happy, sure. So I thought that was really neat.
I do wanna. That is neat. I do want to say that I do have to give a shout out to selfishly my channel because I posted a new video about me working on some Skaven and building that box set. And I am working on a tutorial for one of those boxes, which is the Plague Monks. And I'm going to do a tutorial on that and for every unit in that box. And finally, I'll show you the entire army that I painted for Skaven.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Ooh, building machine. Almost done with this guy. Hmm. Oh gosh. So, what about some new models? What's going on? Are we going to be
Well, we're gonna
buying a lot?
we're gonna do our channels of the week real quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I said mine.
You talked
The
about it, but like that was while we were in the middle of talking about other stuff. I'm gonna show the channel
okay.
now.
Oh,
Uh,
fair enough. Yeah.
Articles and art. First channel we're talking about is Miniatures Paintbrush. I just
Oh,
wanted to show everybody. You can see here building the Skaven Battle Force Verminous Host right here.
and I give this channel a shout out the first 10 minutes. I'm sorry, 10 seconds. I think.
So check them out. I want since you brought it up, I wanted to show people your brand new tutorial, brand new 13 days ago. Uh, but yeah, go check it out.
Yep.
Welcome to the Miniatures.
And I am, of course, Brother Rob's channel is linked in the description below, as always. However, I will go take a second to y'all are seeing the screen within a screen within a screen within a screen. Y'all are seeing the screen within a screen within a screen. Come on, load the chat. Load faster. Load.
Is that what they tell it now?
Here we go.
Load.
All right, there is the link to the video in specific. You guys want to check that out. Talking about uh, the
Skip.
Japanese concerts I like to go to. Darklight says, I love the concerts. He is the one who got me on to going to those concerts at the conventions. And man, I was really missing him during that concert because, like I said, I started going to the Japanese rock concerts with him. I was like, man, he would love this show. This was a really good show. Now that you're home, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles stream, win. Oh man, no, you know what? Maybe I'll do like a video of me starting it, but nobody's gonna want to watch me grinding my level in Mandalia Plains for 7 hours, 8 hours at a
Yeah.
time. So. I might do a compilation video or something like that. Like, here's the start, and then, we can come back and, stream. Like, okay, I've got the classes unlocked that I want. Now we're gonna play the game. All right. Welcome home, ladies. So, Olden Demon is the channel that Rob was talking about. He was watching earlier while we were kind of painting and talking about our media picks. You want to talk about them a little bit, my brother?
It's actually a new channel that I discovered. I talked to him at the beginning, and that last video really impressed me, and it's pretty intriguing on how different legions were in fashion and they died in the meta, and what happened there. So it's actually not lore per se. It's more actual factual what happened in the tournaments and stuff like that. So it's a bit different of a channel, and I thought it was pretty neat. So I wanted to give him some love.
That is interesting because usually, yeah, like you said, a lot of this comes from the lore standpoint, but like this is like in the game how it's gone. Oh, I just realized. Okay, cool. But yeah, talking about how this affected the game in second edition. This is how this affected the game in third edition. That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. There's some other things here like best miniature ever, 10 Oldhammer miniatures for Games Workshop to re-release. Some different things here like Mysteries Explained, 30 Years of Tyranid Secrets.
Mhm.
How this in the Imperial Guard broke 40k. Interesting. Everything about Imperial Knights in 14 minutes.
Yeah, he has a lot of interesting videos that I kind of want to binge watch.
Ooh. Did the Space Wolves hide the biggest secret in Warhammer 40k? Judging by the thumbnail, I'm guessing that one is about how they're the Emperor's executioners and there's the 2 missing legions that have been redacted from history.
Yeah. We don't talk about Bruno.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like. There's some really cool looking stuff here.
Yeah, right? It's like a different standpoint. It's fresh. I
Yeah.
like that. It's a fresh viewpoint.
Now, I'm gonna use you to take the temperature here.
Okay.
So, one of the things, and it's funny because you and I both pick channels that touch on Oldhammer a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, this is a whole channel dedicated to Oldhammer, right? But the channel I'm on, like his newest video, touches on it a little bit, and obviously, there is some obvious favoritism on this side here, where like their whole channel's Oldhammer, and a lot of I see at least 3 or 4 different videos where it's like this Oldhammer miniature is the best miniature ever, and this Oldhammer miniature is the best miniature ever. And so obviously they, I assume, have a stylistic favoring for Oldhammer versus new Warhammer stuff, right? That do you,
Uh-huh.
now I'm not saying this about this channel because I don't know this channel, but I've come to find that often the people who are around for Oldhammer have what I call a sense of toxic nostalgia. It's not just, I say it like I coined the term. It's something that's known psychologically as toxic nostalgia, where the absence of what you like for your nostalgic reasons is conversely bad and must be insulted or whatever. Where do you get that kind of feeling where this person only appreciates old Hammer and new Hammer is bad?
No,
Good, good.
I think he seems very subjective. Like he doesn't have. It doesn't seem like he has an ulterior motive.
Okay.
I think he's calling himself old per se.
That's fair.
I don't
That's
know.
fair.
It's part of it too. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love nostalgia things, and my wife, my brother, Darklight there, my friends will all
Yeah.
tell you that if I get together and we start drinking coffee or beer or whatever, my favorite thing to do is to talk about the good old days, right? My favorite music is all from like the early 2000s, late 90s, my favorite movies are from that time period. I am a nostalgia guy. I start telling the same 3 or 4 stories about, hey, remember that time that me and Cloud did this? I'm that guy in a way that like I love my nostalgia. In fact, this is how nerdy I am. Um, like I have a CD of old shows. Like I have a Power Ranger CD. That's the
Mhm.
original Aaron Waters Mighty Morphin music from 30 years ago. Uh,
Mighty Morphin Power
yeah,
Ranger.
I have a 25th anniversary Transformers, the first generation um soundtrack from the early seasons and their movie. You know,
Nice.
I uh, I love my nostalgia. Like I listen to these things regularly. I talk about these things regularly. I love nostalgia, but
You don't let the blues of your past affect your view of the future.
exactly. I'm open to new things still. Like, the new I went and saw a new rock band that I ended up liking, right? And then of course on YouTube I found this newer musician named Fraxiel that I've been really digging. I
Yeah.
still enjoy new movies. It's like and then of course movie and music, I've freaking fallen in love with K-pop Demon Hunters. Like
Mhm.
I'm still open to new stuff, and I try not to let my like for the things in nostalgia to keep me to prevent me from appreciating things in the present, right? But there are definitely a lot of people who are like, the things I liked from my time period are the only good things. And let me tell you why everything now is terrible and trash. It's just like, ugh.
Well, as a teacher, you cannot adopt that mindset simply because I'm a middle school teacher, so I have to be able to relate to the kids in some fashion. Sure, I want to preserve some of the older ways. Like I don't want to see script handwriting, like cursive handwriting, go away,
Sure.
or anything like that. Like I would like to do those things, and I do offer that for free to the kids after school if their parents' permission. If they'd like to learn how to write their at least name in, they can do a signature. But not a lot of people are interested in things like that. But yeah, I'm always trying to keep open or have an open mindset. You can't afford to be stuck in the ways of the past if you're trying to relate for kids because that's the future. Like right now, they're
Yes.
doing that 6, 7, man, it's crazy. And yeah, it's gotten to the point where even the teachers are like, just flow with it. I mean, what are you doing? It doesn't really mean anything. It has a basketball connotation to it from the meme. So it's something innocent, finally. That the kids do that. It's like, all right, whatever. So now the teachers do it. It's not cool. That's how that works. So, but now people are like, that's so tired. Going on to something else. It's a different meme. But anyway, but that being said, you always have to be current with your stuff.
For sure, for
but,
sure.
but yeah.
Darklight says, "Oh man, I missed the VR setup that I had." He actually created a room in his VR system that was like a
Yeah.
retro room that had like retro game consoles,
Oh, that's crazy.
CRT, TV, VHS, and tapes of old shows and stuff like that. And it was cool in this VR setup. You still had to plug stuff in the old school way, and so you still had like the white, red, and yellow wires to connect the old systems and stuff like that, and the
I
VHS.
remember that. Yeah.
He said, "I just loved sitting in that nostalgia." Not got to go. My phone is off. I have a great rest of your show. Have a great night, Ashley and Greg, and enjoy
All right, take care, guys.
the House of David.
Yes.
Yeah, so like it's okay to love nostalgia, but like you said, if you stay current or at least be objective about the current, um, I think
Yeah.
that's at least having that open mind is a good compromise. Like it's great if you can appreciate the new stuff, but if you can at least have that middle ground of being able to appreciate or at least finding value in the stuff that's new. It's a good middle ground. I think also having teenage daughters, like you being
Yeah.
a teacher, yeah, I think both
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
just dealing with teenagers, I think also probably helps that.
Yeah, wanting to relate to your kids is important.
Exactly.
So, like I said, my students like, you watch K-pop Demon Hunters, and I said, I have a 7-year-old kid. Of course, I watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I watch what she watches, and I loved it. So fell in love with it. I was like, oh yeah, there's something to this.
That's awesome. I saw it's coming back to theaters. I hope it comes back to a theater near
Yes.
me because I would love to go see that with the kiddos.
Yeah. Yeah. My little girl would go crazy. Uh, yeah.
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
the VR room that Darklight created. He said you actually had to pop open the PS1 and put the disc in and everything, and I downloaded all the original disc art for the games and the tapes and the cartridges. So whether you're dealing with the VHS cartridge or a PS1 game, everything looked exactly like the real thing. You had to open
Nice.
the NES and insert the cartridge and close the lid and hit the button just like the real thing. That's so cool. Same thing with the VCR. So I thought that was a really good topic uh, with
Another one
the
done.
toxic nostalgia because
Yeah.
of my hobby, which I think you picking out again. We didn't plan this. We both separately picked channels we wanted to talk about this week.
Mhm.
My channel of the week I'm going to talk about is one that I've verbally talked about before, but hadn't made it my channel of the week. But because of this topic, I wanted to make the channel this week, um, which is mediocre hobbies. And he's a tutorial channel for the most part, but every once in a while he has a really good thought process channel, and he's still painting. Usually when he does his thought provoking videos, instead of a instead of
Tutorial.
a talking head video, that's the phrase I was
Mhm.
looking for. Because
Oh, okay.
when he does a discussion video, he's still kind of like painting in the background and showing you what he's painting while having
Uh-huh.
one of those discussion videos.
That's pretty
And
cool.
so there is a uh, 24-hour pain chance. He says in a cast this night, in particular, this one is the biggest Imperial Knight, the Porphyrion, which is really
Oh boy.
cool. I would totally love to have a Porphyrion someday. It is definitely the biggest Imperial Knight. It is like the size of a small uh, Titan, and so it is definitely like it is the hard line when you go from Knight to Titan. So yeah, that was fun to watch. And he's got an October video, but the one I want to call on today, like all of his videos, I enjoy. Now, is he the best painter? Like I think he paints specifically to a style that is easy to achieve. Like a beginner plus. Like his take on tutorials is he wants accessible tutorials. So his are usually based on what could a beginner focus on for their initial paint job, and what can they do to take it to the next level. So that's why I call his are like very friendly for beginner plus. You can get great looking effects. Yeah, like some people they expect tutorials to be like the best painters. So people are like, I don't understand why Duncan does tutorials. But like, Duncan isn't painting for your skill level. Duncan is painting for entry level. And very
Yep.
similarly, mediocre hobbies, he's just like beginner plus. So uh, I enjoy watching his tutorials. Like, do I think I currently? I don't think I could paint better than him because I've seen him actually try to do, you know, better, higher level techniques and stuff like that. But that's just not what he does in his tutorials. So I think like compared to his tutorials, I
Yeah.
think like my style of painting I prefer more than those. However, I always love watching his even his like basic tutorial videos because I feel like it's one of those that like he's got a big toolbox. You know those
Yeah.
people that have out in their garage, they got the big like head level tool chest, you know, that you could spend days going through that tool chest, you know, just going through different drawers and stuff. I feel like that's what he's got because I feel like even though his tutorials are broadly aimed at, like I said, beginner plus, I always am able to take away something and learn something within the tutorial. You know, whether it's a color theory, a particular technique, or you know, a combination of things. Like I feel like I am often able to like, oh hey, I wouldn't have thought of that, and it often inspires me to something I want to try later. So it's like, you know, a lot of people look at once I surpass this level of skill, I don't need to watch these tutorials anymore. I think it's got like replayability. You know, like do I feel like I've reached comfortably the level of skill that he ascribes to? Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable saying I could paint to that similar level. Maybe not in that style, but that similar level. But I feel like I am still learning things from him. And he's just got a great personality to go along with it. And you can do, he's a big fan of Imperial Fists, so you will see a bunch of yellow on his channel. But like with the new Ultramarines characters, he's got an Ultramarine tutorial. He's got some Trench Crusade stuff on here. He's got the Chaos Dwarves. He's got the new, he does a lot of the new characters when they come out. So there's Aethon Shan, there's Lysander, you know, there's lots of Blood Angels because you know from when their tutorial came out. There's Saturnine stuff for Heresy. There's Votan. He does literally a lot of the new releases. You know, the new Vulcan. You know, all kinds of cool stuff here. When the Space Wolves were released, he did a bunch of Space Wolf videos. So, like I said, his channel is one of those. There's something for everyone, I think. But what I really want to talk about is this third video from 10 days ago called the Ultra Rare Space Marine, and it's a question he puts to the chat: did Games Workshop ruin Space Marines? Because, like I talked about toxic nostalgia, there's a lot of people who were around for a lot of the original, you know, Space Marine stuff or earlier, you know, I would say 7th edition or earlier Space Marine stuff. And, you know, all of the Space Marines had a certain look and aesthetic to them. And a lot of them had a lot more ostentation to them, a lot of greebles and stuff like that that there isn't around now. And what a lot of people talk about is posability, because you know, and granted, I think arm up, arm down, you know, isn't a ton more posability. You know, I think either way, if you take a pair of clippers, you could probably get the same because like the arms are essentially just, you know, side mast at the bodies. Posability up, posability down, posability up. But yeah, but that's so much more posable. You can turn the torso this way or this way. And a lot of those poses you get from making those changes are like abnormal looking poses. Ha!
Like, ah!
You know, but people enjoyed, and I don't want to take it away from the fact that people enjoyed that particular kind of posability. Do I think it makes a difference? Not really, but you know, it is something that is talked about that people like. And so he puts it as, of course, it's a kind of clickbaity, phrased in a clickbaity way. Did Games Workshop ruin Space Marines? But at the same time, like that is often the sentiment from people that have been around for a long period of time. And a lot of people don't like the new sleeker, streamlined look of the new Space Marines. And even down to character, where a lot of people are like, I saw multiple people kind of give a similar comment to, you know, the look and aesthetic that old Space Marines had was bad guys who think that they're good guys, and now they think themselves to be good guys who think that they're good guys. And I mean, if you know you want, hey, I'm back and I'm at work now. Hey there, friendly neighborhood inquisitor, welcome back.
Getting paid to watch the show. I love it.
And I can see like if you wanted that like super grim dark, there is no true good guy vibe, that's fine. Personally, I feel like that's kind of an edgy take where like, oh, there is no good guy, but you know, like, uh, I can understand that that might be the preference for someone else's taste, right? And he kind of talks about that. Andy is one of the rare people that I find that has been around since the early days of Warhammer, but prefers the look of Primaris stuff and can say that objectively he does think that, the models are better,
I think so too.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely agree, but I came in at the end of 7th edition, so I am basically, like one of the people who was, most of my hobby lifetime has been in the Primaris era, right? I
Yeah.
have, even though I was around for Firstborn, I have no nostalgia for Firstborn other than, um, my first miniatures were Firstborn, right? But like, it's
Mhm.
not the same as I loved Firstborn for 10, 20 years before Primaris came along. And yeah, it's just an interesting thing. And of course, he picks out one of the what he feels like. He's like, I'm going to pick out what I think is the coolest firstborn model I can find in my collection, and it's probably the rarest one. And I'm going to paint it up to my current skill level, and talk about how much I enjoy this, and what I think is better. And he talked about how like his favorite model there. Yeah, it is very characterful, and there's a lot of things he likes about it. He does think that on a one-to-one basis, is that model as good as a lot of Primaris? Absolutely, but in general, he prefers the Primaris aesthetic. And of course, he's like, let's have a respectful discussion in the comments. And for the most part, I actually do feel like it is a pretty respectful. It was a respectful discourse, unless like somebody's gone in and deleted a bunch of disrespectful comments. But it is pretty interesting to see the discourse about it, and I find myself pretty solidly aligned on a lot of Andy's takes. But I'm interested to hear what people in our chat think, or our comments section. As you may have noticed from my homebrew chapter, I like evil looking Marines. And a lot of people do kind of like that vibe. I don't actually get evil looking from your Marines. I do get very hardcore though. Uh, but yeah, I mean, people like whatever style they like, and taste is subjective. And everybody has their preferred aesthetics. But then some people will like double down on that nostalgia feeling and be like, the box dread is the best looking dread ever. And it's like, what? Like, their arms are kind of stubby. And the thing that's always tripped me out about box dreads, and why, even as, even though the Firstborn were my first Marines, I always had a hard time getting into box dreads because they have no kneecaps, or they have no knees in general. And so even though if you listen to the books and the lore and stuff like that, and Dreadnought's doing all these super cool actiony things, what ruins it for me is that because they don't have any knees, ostensibly these massive Dreadnoughts in all the cool scenes that they're doing are having to waddle around the battlefield like giant penguins, and that to me takes away from the hardcoreness when you have giant penguin waddling like do 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 do. And
Penguins of death.
And also, like, if you look at the hands on Firstborn box dreads, they have no fingers. In fact, their whole arm has no articulation other than there's like nubs that can rotate to the side. But like, you listen to the lore, and they're like, and the Dreadnought picked up this, fire
Oh yeah.
warrior and crushed it in his hands, and it's like, with what? He's got nubs of fingers that can't even close on themselves. Like, they're basically big sausage-like battering rams. Like, yeah, they can battering ram that fire warrior, but it's not picking anything up.
Bless you.
uh,
Uh,
Friendly neighbor Inquisitor says, "See, I started collecting in ninth, but my issue with Primaris isn't the aesthetics; it's the squads. I like tactical, devastator, and assault squads. Organization way better, hence why I'm homebrewing Primaris tactical squads." Well, and I get that. I get that. You like having the diverse units that can do a lot of things. Like the tactical Marines can hold in objectives with barebone bolters, but also they can take a lasgun to deal with weapons. They can take a plasma gun to deal with infantry. They're kind of a good all-around unit, which I respect. Um, I gotta say though, I feel like because they don't do an assigned role very well, those squads were harder to balance at the time. Because how do you balance a bolter squad that also has a las cannon, that also has access to plasma melta, and then keep it points efficient without making that too powerful? I can understand why balance-wise they decided this wasn't the way to go for future balancing, especially as they went into the Primaris era. They decided to make the game more competitive. And what you often had in previous editions is that those squads were overcosted and were usually ineffective because they were overcosted. Or you had situations where um, they could get the points closer and you could get them cheap, but then they were just then everybody was just taking bare bone bolter squads, and so the fact that you had the option for diversity in your tactical squads didn't mean anything because it was so ineffective to take any weapons in that squad. Everybody was just taking bare bone bolter squads, i.e., exactly what you have with intercessor squads. So my thing is with lore, especially tactical marines. This is a squad may want to be sent to the. Oh yeah, and I get that, and lore is totally different to tabletop. I'm just saying
Mhm.
from a game standpoint, it's hard to balance around the idea of something as diverse as your Devastator squads being able to take any weapon. Your tactical squads being able to take any weapon. It really makes it hard to balance, and in the end, you're going to pay more than you need to, and that's why Space Marines were often in either too weak of a spot, or they would give them good points values, and all of a sudden, Space Marines would be too good. So. And I know a lot of people were like, well, with granular points, yada, yada, yada. What you get with that is a lot of what we saw in 7th and 8th edition, where you were punished for taking anything remotely good, and nobody used any diversity, and everybody took the bare bones cheapest of any squad possible. And
Yep.
if you wanted to build anything that looked remotely cool in your squads, oh, you bought a plasma, you're going to lose the game now because you spent too many points. It's like
Yep.
you were punished for being cool. And I feel like, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people want the granularity, but I feel like, yeah, it was punishing to be cool when done that way. Don't get me wrong. I'm positive in 11th edition, because so many people have bitched and moaned about granularity.
I hope they
Will
don't bring it back.
They're going to bring it back, and I'm
I don't want
positive
them to.
I'm going to be punished in the next edition because I've already built my stuff to look cool. I'm going to keep my stuff looking cool, and so I will be overspending for everything in future editions. But
Mythos.
we'll look
Mythos.
cool.
You know what you really need to do?
What's that?
You need to build all your stuff cool, and then as a backup, you have a Tau army. And then when you replay the person that ground stomped you,
that's why.
you have a Tau army. You
That's
get them
why.
back.
That's why I also own a Custodes army.
I mean, yeah. You just come in and it's like, oh, you beat me? All right. I need this win tonight.
Yeah,
Here's my
it's
nasty
like, man,
list.
I feel like I've had too many boots up my butt lately. Let me pull out the Custodes.
Yeah. Here goes the nasty list. All right, let's do this.
And I find that, at least in previous editions where everything was granular, most of
Yeah.
Custodes' amazing equipment is already built in. Their stock options are the good
Oh yeah.
options. And so you don't really pay for granularity in a Custodes army.
Not really, no. I don't
It's
think
like
there's much of a
like the
difference.
like the grav tank. It's like, oh, well, you could take another option, but it comes stock with the best anti-tank blaze cannons in the game. Oh,
Right?
well, I'll just
Yeah,
keep that.
that's right.
Oh, well, you could take this, but it comes stock with spears that, like, you can take melted spears. Yeah, but it comes stock with damage 2 bolter spears that already have a negative AP and does 2 damage and is absolutely a blender in close combat. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, and you can shoot and charge with them. It's like, oh, well, if that's the stock option, I guess I'll just have to take those.
Yeah. Oh goodness, I'm painting so much.
I feel like most of the options you can take, it's just like, I mean, I could take that, but all the stock stuff is
Yeah, why would you?
probably the best. The only thing I ever pay for upgrades on is my axes on the Terminators, which are objectively the worst ones, but the axes look cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And damage 3 is nice, but I mean, it doesn't often matter in the grand scheme of things that they're damage 3, but they look super cool. So, you know me, I like to play with rule of cool.
Me too. It's why I lose again and again and again. But it's okay. It looks cool on the table. My thing to bring people into Warhammer 40K is that they look at my army and they say, "That's freaking cool. What is this game? I want to be a part of this." So that's where I want to go with that.
All right.
Mm,
So after channel of the week, definitely go check out what was that name? Was it Old Hammer? Oldenhammer. Go check out
Oldman.
Oldenhammer and Mediocre Hobbies. Those are our channels of the week. Highly recommended. And like I
Do you
said,
say sorry? Do you say mediocre hobbies? His paintings are average, mediocre.
they're a little
Yeah.
above average.
Oh, well, mediocre. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Before you moved on, I had to say the very poor dad joke. Go ahead.
No, I love dad jokes. It's all good. Um, I do have an art of the week.
Ooh.
Because I remembered this time. All right, so previously, and you'll see here from my list here, the last time we did art of the week, I showed you some beautiful Wolfguard Terminators. We're going to go in the complete opposite direction. Brother Thomas sent me an Instagram of some Tau. He's like, I think this is Tau you could actually get on board with. And this Tau here is done not in the super, anime-esque, very bright style of Tau. This is done in a very grim, dark, like worn down, kind of uh, still kind of a mecha style, but like a very grim, dark, worn, post-apocalyptic kind of style that doesn't really look like uh, um, how at all. It's like having something cool like Gundam Wing, stuff like that, and this is more like some of the stuff that goes down in Iron Blooded Orphans or 0086, where it's a much more like industrial kind of towel look. And I thought this was just super cool, really heavy weathering, very like you can see that it's got some paint on there that's just like chipped and flaked away, and like a lot of it is bare steel, but it didn't look like it was always bare steel. Like it looks like it's so heavily weathered that like there are traces of paint that used to be there, and it's just been slowly eroded and chipped and sun worn away until you most yeah. So like here you can see it once upon a time had maybe a beige or sandy colored paint to it, but it's just been chipped and eroded away to where it's almost all um, uh, bare steel, and what's left is just the bare remnants of paint, which is just very cool. Super industrial looking, super heavily weathered, very, I don't know, very grungy and grimy. I like it a lot. I don't know why, but this more like weather worn, realistic take on the Tau just really speaks to me. Also, I like that he's holding a rifle. I don't know where this conversion is, but I would like to get some of these conversions for the Tau I'm working on for my brother, where it's
Mhm.
arms holding the guns. It's not like the
Oh
arms
yeah,
are the guns. So,
yeah, yeah. Those are definitely cool. I don't know who does the holding the guns one. I went to the arms are the guns, but I have arms on them. It's the hands, the arms,
yeah.
especially with a big towel. But yeah, definitely awesome stuff. Do you think that the grunge, like it's sort of satisfying as watching Lady Mud wrestling, right? It's just the grunge. It's just perfect.
And normally I'm not that big into weathering. So, like, I wouldn't say that this would always even be my style, but for some reason, like, it works on this piece.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's unusual for what it is, but also I know you can't see, so I'm going to forward this over to you, so that way on later on, if you want to see it, you can check it out.
I
Um,
uh When it comes to weathering, I definitely every time I fight and the Tau loses, I weather somebody. One of the people in a unit gets weathered, and as I keep playing, more and more units get weathered. So it tells a story. I'm a nerd like that.
Uh, Talking about what I was mentioning with the Custodes, says damage 3 sadly may really matter when your opponent has -1 damage. That is true. That is true, and that happens on a lot of like the Redemptor Dreadnoughts, almost all of Nurgle army. Um, yeah, there's a few things out there that are like -1 to damage, or even half damage. There's some Eldar stuff that
Wow,
has half damage.
that's nasty.
Yes, nasty.
Mm, yeah.
All right. We do have some news that we're going to talk about. Oh, wow. It's super late. I'm sorry for keeping y'all so long. I did not realize how late it was getting. I was just chatting and chatting and chatting away. Uh,
Sorry, I'm just having a good time. I have a convention tomorrow. Good.
oh, I'm sorry for keeping you late.
No, no problem.
Man, you could have just been like, Mito, shut up.
What you have to say is interesting, so I wanted to listen.
You're interesting. Uh, all right. We're going to look at first, we're going to look at some new characters. And, since Rob does have an upcoming Ultramarines army, we're going to start with these Ultras here.
Uh, I didn't commit to that.
Too late. Committed. He said, guys, he said. Because you not only have a Gilliman, you have a Marnius.
Yes, I do. I have many minis.
A new dawn rises over Ultramar as Marnius Calgar, Caelus Icarus, and the new Victrix Honor Guard go up for pre-order tomorrow. This is the new Terminator version of Calgar. I personally prefer the look of the Gravis one. The Terminator one, it just looks so plain with him having just like the couple of ropes across the chest. It looks. I just really prefer the look of the Gravis one. But I know, especially for the old Hammer guys, that previously he was always in Terminator armor, and so a lot of people like that he's returned to Terminator armor. But I think, at least for the moment, it says you can take both data sheets. Obviously, not together, because he would have to be in two places at once, but you can take one or the other.
Oh, nice. So the other one's still valid.
Yes.
Oh, and will he remain valid? Or you think they're gonna put him into Legends at some point?
I think what I'm thinking, and maybe this is just, my own personal desires, but
Mm,
but I think they'll keep both options around because they do two different things. I mean, like the rules are exactly the same, but this one can lead to Terminators, the Assault Terminators, the regular Terminators, but the Gravis one, functionally on the field, goes with your aggressors, your heavy intercessors, all of your Gravis units. So I think they
he should,
functionally do two different jobs.
he should really be able to link up with anybody. I mean, he's the chapter master for crying out loud.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I
Mhm.
I prefer, I personally, and I know this is the unpopular opinion, but I personally prefer the look of the Gravis one. So I really hope they keep both around. But if they ever condense it to just one data sheet, surely I'd be able to use the Gravis one in place of the Terminator one. Hopefully,
Yeah, just change the base size if there's a change in the base size, and that's it.
yeah. Which Gravis and Terminator share the same 40 millimeter base, so I don't even think they'll be that.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
First up is the big man himself, the chapter master of the Ultramarines, and the only one to ever fight Abaddon the Spoiler one-on-one and not get horribly murdered. Marnius Calgar no longer comes with a personal pair of Victrix Guard, but instead gains the Deep Strike rule and the ability to join Terminators and Assault Terminators in battle. Great news if you're picking up the new Battle Force Crux Terminatus box tomorrow. So they've got his rules here. Obviously, in his Terminator armor, he's got the movement 6, toughness 6, two plus save with the 4+ invulnerable, 6 wounds, 6 leadership, objective secure 1. He's got the gauntlets of Ultramar, which are the same as his Gravis profile. 4 attacks, 2 shots, strength 4, -1 AP, 2 damage at 18 inches. And then if you're punching, and they're always twin linked, so the strength 4 is not that big of an issue. And then range, of course, his melee version is 6 attacks, 2 up, strength 8, AP 3, damage 3, also twin linked. So even if you're punching against something bigger, you're still likely to do some good damage.
Hmm.
He's got the exact same abilities, allowing you to advance and advance in charge or fall back in charge, which is great. And also Master Tactician, which is, if he's your warlord, gives you an extra CP in your command phase. So it's the exact same rules as his Gravis counterpart. So really, it's just, all this is really changing. It's the same weapons, same abilities.
It's who he can attach to.
It's who he can attach to. And of course, putting him,
That's
I think
silly.
this is fan request, putting him back in Terminator armor because the fans requested so much for it. That's what I think. Kato Sakura.
If you're playing a friendly game, it shouldn't matter which one.
Yeah,
You
and
just tell them which data sheet you're doing.
yeah,
It's similar enough.
I think most people, unless you're playing against one of those guys, probably won't trip if you call it one way or the other. Like, guys, I want to try out some Terminators this go around. So,
Yep. And if
Kato,
you are playing with that guy, then you should stop playing with that person.
I agree. Kato Sicarius, really cool update to this model. I really like this one, and he is one I would like to add to my Ultramarines. He is definitely going on the birthday Christmas list. Hint, hint
Nice.
for my lovely wife. The new incarnation of... Oh, wait. Do note, however, this new version doesn't replace the version in Gravis armor. You can take whichever one you like as long as they're not in the same army together. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
I have a theory about that I'm going to come back to when we talk about the Victory Scar.
But it's the rule of 3. Come on, you got three Marius Calgats.
3 Calgats. Oh my gosh.
Come here. Sorry, couldn't help it.
I would take 3 if I could. That'd be cool.
Oh my gosh.
The new incarnation of Kato Sicarius is a little different. The headline change is to a signature Thalassian Tempest Blade, which now can select one of 3 combat styles, which is really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Blade Champion of the Custodes, how his one sword can pick 3 different fighting styles.
Yeah.
To tackle hard targets, or hordes of lesser foes, or single out enemy champions, reflecting his unmatched skill as a duelist. So he's a 6-inch mover, toughness 4, 2+4+, like any other captain. 5 wounds, 6 leadership, 1 objective secure. He's got an artisan plasma pistol, 12 inches, 1 attack, hitting on 2s, strength 8, -3 and 2 damage, and that's all the time. So he's got a artisan plasma that is basically always overcharging without the risk.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So his Tempest Blade has a sweep, strike, and precision profile, or it's called the Coup de Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Coup de Grace, but it's basically the precision profile. So basically, his hard targets, he gets 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 6, a big whopping -3 AP, and 3 damage. So
Nice.
you want to hit something that's a hard target, it's pretty good for that.
It's like
It's got devastating wounds, so if you roll any 6 wounds, they won't even be able to save that 3 damage. He's got a sweep profile. If you want to go anti-horde, he can swing 9 times with that in sweep mode.
9 attacks.
Hitting on 2s, strength 5, -2 AP, and only 1 damage. But if you're swinging against something like orcs or Imperial Guard or elves, that could just clear a whole bunch of them. So that one's got sustained hits. So we've got devastating wounds, we've got sustained hits, and then we've got precision on the coup de grace, where it's 6 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 5, AP 2, and 2 damage, which is a very good character killing profile. So
yeah, it is.
And there are some armies where it is better to kill the character inside, so that way the rest of their unit doesn't get the special abilities. So that can be very
Mhm.
useful.
Oh yeah, definitely cripple an army.
Now, what is really cool is that he is a leader, and it's what's really interesting is that every character kind of tells you what unit that they can go with.
Hmm.
Specifically, Cato Sicarius can be attached to the following units. There's only one unit listed: the Victrix Honor Guard.
Oh my
And that's
God.
because his position as a captain is he is the
Yeah.
captain specifically of the Honor Guard. And so that is the
Mhm.
only unit he can currently go with. So if you think about this, the Honor Guard goes with a captain or chapter master.
Right.
He
That's it.
goes with the Victrix Guard. So this is one of those situations where you
Mhm.
can get two epic heroes in the same unit, which is
Yeah.
pretty neat. What's his special abilities? Knight Champion of Macragge. Once per turn, when the unit ends, a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of this unit, and the unit is not in engagement range of this enemy, he can make a
Mm.
normal move of 6 inches. So he can get
Nice.
closer to the fight, he can get back behind some cover, he can move towards an objective, he can go anywhere within 6 inches.
Hmm.
Honor or Death. You can target this unit with a heroic intervention stratagem for 0 CP, even if you
Nice.
already used that stratagem on a different unit. And so think of this: somebody moves within 9 inches of you. You counter by moving
Hmm.
6 inches, so now you're within 3 inches of them. Then for
Hmm.
free, then you got to live through the shooting phase, unfortunately.
Right.
But then let's
Yeah.
say you do, then you can have a free heroic intervention into that unit and fight them on their turn. So
Mm.
without getting the charge keyword, you're basically charging them on their turn. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You're forcing that unit to shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a big badass unit of Terminators, especially let's say the Hammer and Shield Terminators that are most likely going to live through some shooting, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Then you move towards an enemy unit that moved within 9, so you're within 3. You're going to soak up some firepower during that. Then you, Marnius Calgar, and all of these Terminators get to rush them in their own attack phase, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
And because you moved into engagement range with them, I mean, obviously they could just charge you because I think it's um, at the end of their thing that you can heroic intervene into them, so they can charge you and get to go first. But there's also the potential you can take the charge, or they wouldn't have charge if you can, just consolidated into them.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool combination there. Check the
Yeah. It's
comments.
certainly a threat on the tabletop.
Oh yeah, friendly neighborhood inquisitor had already listed all of the titles of Cato Sicarius, which is pretty cool. He says Commander of the Victrix Guard, Grand Duke of Talasar, Knight Champion of Macragge, High Suzerain of Ultramar. Very cool. He also says, it's not too late to go Crimson Fists. The very first chapter GW ever made. Just saying.
Yeah.
Uh, Grump,
Good.
Grumpy Guy Gaming. Good morning, my brother. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
All right, the Honor Guard. We have here their movement 6, toughness 4, save is 2 plus, no invul save, which is interesting. We'll talk about that here in a second. 4 wounds, leadership 6, objective secure 2.
Hmm.
Ranged weapons, mastercrafted carbine, which gives them 2 attacks at 24 inches, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. So it's a lot like the mastercrafted bolter you can get on a lieutenant, but on a regular dude. And getting some, a squad of damage 2 bolters is pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
Um, Blades of Honor, 6 attack, and that goes on their champion, which is what they have instead of a sergeant.
Hmm.
It's got precision and twin link because you're dual wielding blades. You get 6 attacks, hitting onto strength 5, -2 AP, 2 damage.
Nice.
And that precision and twin link means you're very frequently going to wound, and you can just chew through a character. And if you've got him and Kato Sakari in the same squad, you've got a lot of precision hits, meaning you are most likely going to smoke any character you get in combat with. And if
Yep.
they have two characters in that squad, you might smoke them both.
Makes them feel like a captain. They have enough special rules that it's just like really empowers them. You want to feel them. You want to get them in combat. You're like, come at me, bro.
Come at me,
I love
bro.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
The Banner of Macragge at the start of the fight phase, once per battle, the bearer can use this ability. If it does, add one to the strength and attack characteristics of all melee weapons in this model's
Mm,
unit. So then all of a
mm,
sudden, that
mm.
the Blades of Honor are going up to 7 attacks and strength 6.
Nasty.
The power weapons are going up to 6 attacks, strength 6. It's very nice.
Mm.
While a captain or chapter master is leading this unit, each time an attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll, which is making them even tougher. And Glory of Ultramar, in your opponent's shooting phase, each time an enemy has shot, if any models from this unit were destroyed, this unit can make a surge move. To do so, roll a d6 to move this unit a number of inches closer as a result. It must move in the same direction as the closest enemy, excluding aircraft. When doing so, they can be moved in engagement range. So now, if you've got the Honor Guard and you got Cato Sicarius, they're going to move within 9 of you. You're going to move. Then they're going to shoot at you, and if somebody dies, you're going to move towards them again. And then you can target them with Cato Sicarius and get in with a free heroic intervention. These guys are just coming at you. These guys are
Hmm.
like freaking Jason on the battlefield. They're just coming, steadily coming. Pretty cool. Now, what's interesting here, let's look at the war gear. Chapter Ancient is equipped with a power weapon and the banner. The Champion
Hmm.
is equipped with the Blades of Honor. And each
Nice.
Victrix Honor Guard is equipped with the Bolt Carbine and one Mastercrafted power weapon. It does
Hmm.
not say there that any of these guys can take a shield. So they're getting a little bit tougher
Hmm.
because they get, if as long as they've got a character attached, they get the -1 to wound,
Right.
but they lose their invul save.
Mm.
So this is a
So much cushion.
yeah. So this is why I think the Gravis Captain is going to stick around for a while,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
two Victrix guys that come with the Gravis Captain version,
Mhm.
his Victrix guards are not a legal loadout by this Victrix guard datasheet.
Oh wow.
Because because the Gravis version of Marnius Calgar comes with a mastercrafted power sword and a
Mhm.
shield. It doesn't. They don't come
Oh,
with the bolt.
locked in.
Yeah, it's locked in. There's no options.
Oh.
So
So you have to buy the new Victor's card, is what you're saying.
I mean, to take them as a separate squad like this, yes,
Yeah, yeah. You need three anyway, and there's only two in the last one. So
it's
yeah,
true. It's true.
darn it. They know how to make their money.
But so I, I,
But
I think they're gonna leave the Gravis one in for a while, and I think they're gonna leave his two honor guards standard with him because they're not useful without without the Gravis Marnius character sheet. Their loadout is completely different from this character sheet. And like I said, they don't come with any other weapon options. So it's not even like, oh, well, you equipped him with the wrong thing. It's like literally what comes in that box is not legal.
yeah,
But the Victor's Guard are cool looking models, and I've always liked the eagle face helms.
eagle face. Yes. Yeah, me too. Me too. I want to buy Cortez just so I can paint the eagle.
Uh,
Even want Cortez. I just want the eagle. Something about the double-headed eagle. And I am a 32nd degree Mason, and their symbol is the double-headed eagle, by the by.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah,
All
double
right.
equivalent.
Uh, so
So the Vic. I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, no.
You answered that question already. Nope. You answered the question. Sorry.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I ran on way too long tonight, so we don't have to go over Subaden Khan or the dude from the Iron Hands. I almost said
No, we
Iron
can do it.
Warriors, but I'm like, oh wait, those are the guys I've been researching.
I don't know what time it is.
It is currently 11:10, and like I said, I know you got to get up
Oh
for
yeah,
convention
it's
tomorrow.
12:10. It's 12:10. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's fine. I'm a New Yorker. I don't sleep too much anyway.
No, it's all good. I'm comfortable ending here. I felt like we had a really good discussion about the Ultramarines, and I
Yeah, we
really
have
liked.
fun.
Like, it was probably went on longer than I intended, but I
Yeah,
really enjoyed our conversation about being able to appreciate things from a nostalgic time period versus
yeah,
having a toxic nostalgia mindset. You know,
exactly, exactly.
because either
Title of the show. There you go.
either way, I feel like you can enjoy nostalgia without having to, or not even nostalgia. I feel like it is totally possible and healthy to like your thing without insulting someone else's thing. But one of the things, and like um, work wise, some of my background is in behavioral science, right? And an
Yeah,
interesting phenomenon that's happening, and obviously, I think the anonymity of the internet is part of this shift in the human mindset. But that kind of absolute opinion where my opinion is, like there's this thing going on where people take their opinion as fact, right? And
yeah, of course.
and their opinion is right, which by very definition makes any dissenting
Other
opinion
thing wrong.
wrong, right? And the very idea that their opinion isn't right is an insult to them because you're insinuating that they're wrong, and them being wrong is an insult because it's like, oh well, if you think I'm wrong, you must think I'm stupid, right? And they take that very personally because they absolutely cannot be wrong, right?
You mean their infallibility, right?
Yeah,
Cannot be.
exactly, exactly. And so the way they translate that in their brains, and it's called an
Uh,
absolutist mindset, is that any
mhm.
dissension of opinion means that you think that they're wrong, and not only do you think that they're wrong, you think that they're inferior to you. And it's a very extremist mindset that's being bred more and more frequently in our society. And that's why people are kind of losing the ability to have a discourse about what they like without triggering someone else because
Yeah,
people by this absolutist mindset take it so personally as an attack. And a lot of people will take that a step further and preemptively attack before that they're attacked, by go ahead and stating, like this is the Warhammer model, or this is the anime that is the only good one, and anyone who likes this one, they suck and they're stupid and they sleep with their mothers, right? They proactively attack, because they can't stand the thought of their opinion being wrong, because that makes them inferior.
but that makes them look very foolish. Anybody with the facts would definitely disclout them
Right.
immediately. And when you go on the internet, we discover internet trolls, which is like the bottom of society to
Oh
begin
yeah.
with, in my
Yeah, for
opinion,
sure.
right? So we're not really dealing with all of society. We're just dealing with certain trolling Warhammer fans, which I think, to our credit, are the best trollers in all of the internet. I'll give you that. I think we win the prize there. Okay. So if you're looking at comments like that, where other people have to put other people down and others so they can elevate themselves, um, that mindset is so limited and toxicity. And yes, a lot of the older school Warhammer people have adopted that mindset because they become rigid. In other words, they're not they're not willing to change because it worked before. Why? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And
Yeah.
I get that mindset. But if things don't start evolving at some point, then it's going to go away. It's going to get old and nobody's going to want to do it anymore and
Mm-hmm.
it's done. You have to keep refreshing it. You got to keep it new and you got to keep bringing in the younger audience in, or the company itself will die. The hobby itself
Yeah.
will die. You have to keep on going. And so to adopt the new is to adopt the future, is to adopt more people playing Warhammer. So, I mean, anyone with a limited mindset like that, obviously needs to talk to somebody and not troll the internet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If you look at those posts like that and you're on Reddit and you're on this other stuff, I wouldn't pay too much. I wouldn't give it too much credence. I would more observe the people in your area because that more affects you,
Yeah, yeah, for
personally.
sure.
But internet trolls, don't let them get to you.
Friendly Neighborhood Quitter says it's also projection. They think that you disagreeing with them means that you're saying they're stupid because that's what they think about people who disagree with them. That is a great point.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
And
you
then
manifest what overflows inside you. And if it's
exactly,
hatred, then that's what happens.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which goes back to an ancient proverb about the way you treat people is a reflection of what's inside you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. On the same wavelength.
Um, Friendly Neighborhood Quizer says, I've met some people who have literally said to me, it's better for Warhammer to die than to change. Which really goes along with what you were saying about how some people feel about it.
Well, they will die, but Warhammer won't.
Yeah, I have definitely met a lot of people in that toxic nostalgia mindset that would rather something die off and not exist anymore, but exist in the quote unquote perfect way it was in their memory, than to become something else.
The good old days. Remember the good old days of Warhammer Fantasy?
So really good
But when
nostalgia,
the
and actually like I said, I have some background in behavioral science, but hearing it from your thought process as a teacher, like it's pretty insightful too.
oh, thank you. I don't try. It just sneaks out of me. I have to get advice. I do. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like a dad to some of these kids who don't have a dad, well, for a class period. I want to make sure that they do well in school and they do well in life. And
I was about to say,
sometimes,
you really strike me as the kind of teacher who takes that beyond, who like gives them life lessons to do well in life instead of just you
yeah,
know.
absolutely. I love cross curricular work. So I'm a Spanish teacher, but I integrate math in Spanish since we're learning numbers. And I integrate historical events and collaborate with history teacher in order to do that. So this way, they're getting it from two angles. They're knowing the history from one side, and then they're going to speak the language and how to discuss it, or the vocabulary for it, or even act it out in Spanish. I don't know. I just love doing that. And I go above and beyond for each one of my kids, especially the kids that people give up on. I don't give up on people. I'm annoying like that. And I tell them the first day of school, listen, I'm a teacher who cares. And I'm annoying like that. And that's the way I am. So I'm going to make sure I call home. I'm going to make sure if you're not doing the right thing that people know. And I'll also call home if you're doing a good thing because I'd like to praise you as well. I want to lift you up. I don't want to be just a source of terror and dread. And I do that too. So yeah, I communicate with parents because I'm a parent myself, and I would love for the teachers to. I would like to know if there's something wrong, immediately, and immediately I will deal with it. So that's the way I treat other parents, like I would like to be treated. And yeah, I bend over backwards for my kiddos, and yeah, it's pretty cool being a teacher because I feel like I'm really affecting people's lives, and I feel like I'm making a difference, especially to the kids in the area. And in a couple of years, they're the ones taking our jobs, and they are what the definition of the area is. And I have my hand in actually shaping that. I'm humbled by it, I take it very seriously. And that's why I never leave teaching. I'm, I'm a bleeding heart, that's for sure.
I think the
Anyway,
bleeding heart definitely is a core part of who you are, and it's like not only good for the kids, but I really feel like just because of the big heart that you have, like it's probably very fulfilling for you too.
yeah, absolutely. Especially when my kiddos come back and say, hey, Mr. Alia, I just graduated. I'm going to the Navy or Army, or I'm going to college, or I just graduated college. I just got married. They want to be friends with me on Facebook now, and it's like, that's pretty cool that I influenced someone's life so much that over the years, they still remember me, It's pretty cool. It's not cool when you get their kids, though, in your classroom, because then
Hmm.
you feel old. You're like, dang, I taught your mama.
How did this happen?
Yeah, I know. I got old. That's it. I got old.
It's so interesting. Like there are two major mindsets when it comes to this kind of thing. Um, where it is like there are some people who everybody wants to be the best, right? But there are
Yeah.
some people who can't handle the idea of someone surpassing them and becoming better than them. But then there are
Please.
some people like yourself who revel in the success of others as if it's your own success.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you're a genuinely good guy, my friend, and I am
Whatever.
proud to call you a friend.
Ditto. For sure. And I'm almost done with the second guy.
Oh, can't be dittoed.
uh,
I'm not really a good guy. I just play one on TV.
yeah. Yeah. You do a good job. Do a good job. You should get an acting career. Hollywood, you missed your call. You should be in Hollywood.
Uh, we got a quote incoming. But it's a poor teacher who is not surpassed by his student. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I'm going to steal that, Neighborhood Inquisitor.
Yeah. Read it to me again. What does it say? I'm sorry. Can't see it.
It is a poor teacher who is not surpassed by his student.
Oh, yeah.
I like that a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah. It's fun.
Brother Rob has just finished up his second Marine of the night, ladies and gents. Super impressive.
No, it's almost there. I mean, I do have the heads all pre-painted and ready to go.
Nice.
That's a good one.
So these six that I'm working on here, because I've got the first squad of 10, and then the extra one I bought, so that way I have I can run two separate squads of 10 or one big squad of 20. And so I've got these six here that are a good chunk of the way through. And
Nice.
one of the things I plan on doing tomorrow is doing all of the white shoulder pads and all of the yellow shoulder pads. Just kind of batch painting those. I really feel like it's going to help them feel a lot more done once the shoulder pads are done.
Yeah.
Once that's what happened last time. Was once I got those shoulder pads done, it all kind of started to come together faster.
Nice.
And then
I'll
I
go
could
too
just
fast. I've got lots of paint.
and then I think like then I'll be at the point where I can start doing like you're doing now. That'll be the stage for me that I can be like, all right, now I'm just going to knock out one by one the details of all of them and start finishing up.
Oh yeah, that's a good plan.
I got a bad
That
feeling
is a good
I'm going
plan.
to miss out on getting the Crux Terminatus. Is it because
Nobody's getting the Crux coming on us, man. The thing's sold out like before he even got sold. It's like
I was about to say, is it
for sale. No,
a
sold
pre-order
out.
thing? Is it because you're working third? It's going to be hard. You're going to have a hard time getting to the shop in the morning, or are you doing an online reservation, which is even tougher? You got to keep refreshing your browser. Because I agree with Rob. I think it's going to be one of those that once 12 o'clock hits, it's going to be sold out in
1201 is
seconds.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's always a bad feeling. It was like, oh man, I kept refreshing my browser but couldn't get it in my cart. Okay, doing it online. I find I don't know if this helps you out any, but I find it's 12:25 for me right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Um, I find, and I know, especially you being on that third shift life right now, it's probably not going to be easy. But I find if I go into the store physically, uh, and hit up their little kiosk at 12 o'clock, I am more likely, I almost always am able to secure a copy as opposed to trying to do the online because everybody's trying to compete with you online. But GW has their own queue for the ones that are being sold in store. And so I've almost always been able to secure a copy going in and getting it that way.
Wow.
So
So what are you doing tomorrow morning? No.
no, I'm not buying any minis right now. So close to Christmas, that would be a death sentence.
Yeah.
No, my wife and I have an agreement. Once like halfway, uh, or usually once after November or October starts, because we have an anniversary in October. I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I said this to you before the stream started, but just last week, my wife, or at the beginning of this week, my wife and I celebrated our 18th anniversary together. So, yeah,
Congratulations again.
thank you, brother. Uh,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so our anniversary is in October. My birthday's in November. Of course, December is Christmas. So we have this understanding at the beginning of October, we stop buying things for ourselves. Uh,
Okay.
so at this point, things can go on the Christmas birthday list. But and thank you, my brother. All right. So,
Oh,
well, thank you so much. And like I said, I know you're staying up way too late because you got a convention tomorrow. Good luck with your
I
convention,
do.
brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I
World
hope
Language Convention. Go Maryland.
I hope you take some pictures of your celebration.
Do.
All right. As always, you can find this gent in the description below at the Miniatures Paintbrush. Uh, and of course, yeah, thank you so much for joining us this week. If you guys liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below. Feel free to be any part of tonight's ridiculous conversations were not too ridiculous. It was actually pretty thoughtful tonight. So feel free to chime in below.
Thoughtful.
I would like to call that somebody is probably going to nail me in the comments for either my opinions about Primaris being better or my thoughts on toxic nostalgia. I'll probably get railed somewhere in the comments.
Are you looking forward to getting railed?
Well, I mean, it has been a while since I've had a good rail.
Oh my gosh.
No. Um, but yeah, okay. Now feel free to be part of any of tonight's ridiculous conversations. If you guys are not yet subscribed to Brother Rob, any of our other
Oh,
friends down in the link tree below are friends of Wolfbrother Hobbies. And if you're not yet subscribed to this guy, we'd love to have you as part of the pack here at Wolfbrother Hobbies. Until next time, guys, stay frosty.
stay frosty.